up and down, literally, but a lot of other teams in this division are. Everyone's battling to find consistency. I think the team, obviously, that finds consistency will do well.
Would last week's result for you at the Molineux be an example of inconsistency?
Yeah, well, I think the results, one thing, it's the performance. It's the inconsistent performance, which doesn't always go with results, of course. We could play badly tonight and win. As it was, last week we played badly and lost, and we deserved to lose. So a week earlier we played very well, and that's the way it's been. One week very good, the next week very bad. So if that keeps going, we should be very good tonight.
Are you getting differing performances out of differing players each week?
No, that's the thing. I think you can carry one or two. Last week we were hit with a team that played badly. You know, we had 5 or 6 or 7 who had been playing well and had played well the week before, and suddenly, you know, seemed to have lost all for them. Steve Froggatt, for instance, has been playing exceptionally well, and last week was just you know, poor and was complaining of being tired. So he seems to have got a bit of freshness back and hopefully be better tonight.
Wolves have never won here. Do you see that as a record to be broken?
Oh, I think so. I think every record is there to be broken. These sort of things aren't things that concern me. This is a new game. This is a new team. You know, there's all sorts of things that are different here tonight than have been in any other game that Wolves have ever played here. And it's here for the winning again. So we know it's going to be difficult. We came here before. You were with us, and we get gubbed, and we recognise that. And so therefore, we're not under no illusions how difficult it's going to be.
So are points much more important than Coca-Cola Cup revenge tonight?
Oh, I think so. I think absolutely. I mean, I think obviously we got a bit of pride. That we came here and were embarrassed to lose. We're embarrassed to go out the cup in the first round, and maybe we've got a little bit to prove. But I mean, I think the points will be just as important, or more important to them than even their Coca-Cola Cup draw, as exciting as it is, and they'll be taking it just as seriously as us.
Thanks, Mark. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Mark McGee talking to George Gavin there. Let's have a look where Wolves and Swindon, both our teams in tonight's live game, are in the First Division. Bolton is still at the top, then Barnsley and Norwich and Stoke. Wolves in 5th place. If they win tonight, they can go 3rd. Then Crystal Palace and Tranmere and Ipswich, QPR. John, it's tight, isn't it, really? This is the league. They say that anyone can beat everybody else.
Yeah, it's true as well. Looking at the teams in it, there's some good sides, and it's nice to see teams like Barnsley doing so well again. They've been consistent. I mean, I've been involved in that league a number of seasons, and teams like Barnsley are doing really well. Wolverhampton Wanderers, after coming down, back up the top again. I saw them last week at Bristol. They only drew nothing each, and they're a good side. They've got a lot of good players. But I was a little bit disappointed in Monday night. But looking at the game tonight, I think it'll be a cracking game.
OK, Swindon in 12th place, of course. They're at home to Wolves tonight. That's our live game. Some good sides and some big names, aren't there, down at the bottom? Clubs with great history. Alan.
I think Birmingham City, they've got to be. They have a couple of games in hand, and they'd be looking to win them, because Birmingham, OK, the season's only just begun, but you know, it's getting a bit cold now, as you say, autumn. Birmingham really want to be up there and get their fans buzzing. It's very important for Wolves tonight. You know, it's amazing the confidence you can get your fans behind you, and they'll be looking for a real good win tonight. They go 3rd, what an incentive. And obviously they'll be hurting and smarting from that Coca-Cola upset. So I'm sure Mark McGee will be saying, hey, come on. As he said, they gubbed us last time. I've not heard that for a while.
Neither have I.
But no, Mark will be really firing them up tonight. And I've got a feeling for Wolves again tonight.
It was very tight down the bottom, but let's find out now a little more about our host tonight. Friday Night Football presents for you Swindon Town. they are. A little look at Swindon Town there. 69er, one of their fanzines, of course, referring to probably their greatest hour when they won the League Cup. They beat Arsenal 3-1 in 1969, hence the title of the fanzine. Dom Rogers scored twice in that game. Cup of Bovril at Swindon will cost you 80 pence. I don't know whether that's cheap or not. And John Gorman listed as one of the famous managers, of course, of Swindon Town.
Infamous.
Infamous, says John. No, surely not. And they've actually spent £2.7 million on ground improvements, and just what we've seen of the stadium so far, it looks like it, doesn't it? Looks good.
John sold all the players to fund it.
Oh,
we had to do. That's why we never stayed.
Now then, let's hear what the current fans have to say about the current Swindon Town team.
Playing excellently at the moment, absolutely, every performance. Steve has brought us a little bit of pride back in our whole life, everything about the club. We got so low, we couldn't have gone any lower.
I think we are stronger now than what we were before. Let's put it this way, we're a bit harder. We've got the football, but we put a bit of hardness in as well.
The performance is getting there, and I think we're hold our own in this division. I hope Swindon fans don't expect too much this season. If they can finish mid half of the table, then I should be quite happy with that.
Steve McMahon has really brought the team together and brought a few very good players, especially Scott Leach, I feel, played brilliant. He's playing brilliant, and I think he's brought more commitment to the club.
They're doing what we expect them to do, and they're grinding out the results. I think they can do well this season if they keep playing the way they're playing, because being nice and patient, and they're showing other teams how to play football.
Patience is a virtue, my boy. Nice young faces there amongst the fans. How was your relationship with the fans at Swindon? I suppose that typically, you know, when things are going well, they love you, and when they don't go so well, do they get on your back a bit or not?
Well, of course, when you, to be honest, they were great with us, if I'm completely honest. But like that lady said there, so low, which was a bit wrong, because we were in the Premier League when they were relegated, which is a big different league, as Alan will tell you. But at the same time, yeah, it's nice to see them back again, fighting to get back up to the Premier League.
What was that season like in the Premier League? I mean, it must have been wonderful just to be in there, wasn't it?
That's it. People are realising now, I think, just how well we actually played. When you think back to some of the great performances that we put in, there were some outstanding games and some great memories for the fans. But of course, everybody likes to be a winner.
Now, their ambitions this season, obviously, are for promotion. Is it realistic? They've come up as champions. Is it totally realistic to expect promotion either via the playoffs or automatic promotion in your first season?
I think, like one of the fans said there, to finish in a good halfway up the table or up the top half of the table would be very good for them this year, a stabilising year. They've always been a good second division team in the old second division leagues and really done well, and Swindon's got a great name. They've always played good football, attacking football, and exciting football.
Progressive on the pitch, Swindon Town, and progressive off the pitch as well. This is something that the news broke yesterday. Swindon Town could be the first club in Europe to build a casino in its grounds. They hope, that's the club, that punters will be gambling at the county ground by next autumn. If it goes ahead, oh, it's not my number, that, it'll create 100 local jobs and generate about £150,000 a year for the club's push for the Premiership. Ricky Hunter, one of the directors, said that it could be a very significant development for the club, who were nearly in financial ruin just a few years ago, and could generate a massive amount of money for the club. But they are waiting on local magistrates to grant a gaming licence, so it's not absolutely confirmed at the moment. But this is something that's been talked about, John, hasn't it, for a long while at Swindon? While you were there, they were talking about something like this, a casino.
No, the exact same thing as now. It was in the plans, obviously. They would like to try to do something in that line to try and raise money, which they were always thinking of new ideas, and this is another one that they've come up with, and hopefully it will be successful, although gambling is something that not all people frown upon and like, you know.
The idea is not to get all the players to spend their wages and get the money back that way, is it? No, surely not. OK, Swindon Town against Wolverhampton Wanderers from the county ground is our live game tonight on Sky Sports 3. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll have a check on their current form in the form guide.
Blades will fly, but it's not fencing. The speed will amaze you, but we're not talking Formula One. He who dares wins, but it's not boxing.
It's about putting it in the back of the net. But it's not about football.
Get to know British ice hockey. Basingstoke v Bracknell in the B&H Cup. Saturday, 6:30, live on Sky Sports 1.
At Specsavers, buy a pair of spectacles from our $59.95 price range or above and choose a stylish pair from the same range for free. Specsavers Opticians.
From Land's End to John O'Groats and back again. People who cook for a living are the pickiest people on earth. That's why they cook with Uncle Ben's long grain rice. Uncle Ben's uses only the finest grains. It's fluffy, great tasting, and perfect every time. No wonder more restaurants serve Uncle Ben's than any other rice, meal after meal. Uncle Ben's, perfect every time.
For some people, life can't be too smooth, which is why Galaxy created a caramel that's super smooth. Why have the rough when you can have the smooth?
A PEP is one of the Chancellor's most generous tax gifts. Yet only 1 in 20 taxpayers are taking advantage of the tax-free returns a PEP can generate. We think it's odd when for just £50 a month you could buy a Virgin Growth PEP. For an information pack, call 0345 959595.
I want to have a chance to live.
How can you give your life to someone when you haven't had it yourself yet? It's no good.
I'm not just after a quick fling.
I've got to go.
I have never met anyone who makes me feel like you do. I can't get you out of my head. I need you.
Who told you?
Not exactly. I still want you.
Have you told her?
Which one?
Then have me.
Spring Hill, Tuesday at 8, Sky 1.
Coming up over on Sky Sports 1 in the early hours of Saturday morning, the Aussie Rules Grand Final between Sydney Swans and North Melbourne. It's live from Melbourne at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, but you can see highlights at 5:30 on Saturday afternoon here on Sky Sports 3, just in case you fancy a lion. But tonight on the Friday night football, Swindon Town against Wolves in Nationwide Division 1. And we had a nice fax that came into the office. Adrian Brooks and Tracy Hawkin are getting married tomorrow, and Adrian is a mad Swindon Town fan, and they're getting married at St John's Church, Carterton in Oxon at 3 o'clock. And due to us doing the live game tonight, because we have switched it just for them, it means that Adrian is not going to miss the game, because he would have missed it, you see, if it was on a Saturday. So we'd like to wish you the very best of luck. He's in the north stand, and there it is. He's in there somewhere. I don't know where. He's probably waving at us. He's taped it, probably. So good luck to the both of you for tomorrow afternoon. Now then, let's catch up on the team news for this evening's game. And the man with all the information, as usual, is George Gavin.
Hi, Russ. Swindon are unchanged from the team which defeated Queen's Park Rangers in the Coca-Cola Cup on Wednesday night. And Wolves, they welcome back Darren Ferguson, a recall for him. And there's also a welcome back for Neil Emblem after injury. Let's have a look at the Swindon team first of all. And Gary Elkins makes his home debut tonight, a £100,000 move from Wimbledon. Mark Walters is settling into good form after his move from Southampton. Steve Coe has scored 3 goals, all of them away from the county ground. And Peter Thorne, the Coca-Cola Cup hero, stays on the bench for Swindon tonight. And Wolves, Darren Ferguson returns. He replaces Steve Corica, who's dropped to sub tonight. And Darren Ferguson's only other start this season was here in the Coca-Cola Cup defeat. Ewan Roberts scored a hat-trick on his last live game on Sky Sports against West Bromwich Albion. Neil Emblem replaces Simon Osborne, who today had knee surgery. He'll be out for 3 weeks, and it's Neil Emblem's first game of the season. With me now is the Swindon manager, Steve McMahon, player manager still, but an operation yesterday for you. How did that go, Steve?
It was fine up to now, but I won't know really how well it's gone until next week sometime.
Was it a long time under the knife for you? Was it a very difficult operation?
It wasn't under the knife as such, no. It was just a stretching and a few injections and everything else. So, as I say, I'll know more when the specialist spoke to our physio.
Of course, a great night 48 hours ago, wasn't it, for Swindon?
Because it was. Well, they deserved it. They worked tremendously hard, and that's what it's all about. If we work as hard again tonight, then we've got half a chance.
And what a night it was for Peter Thorne, but surely the tiredness will be in the players' legs tonight, won't it, 48 hours later?
No, not really. They're fit enough. We've done enough training. We've worked hard enough in pre-season. The games they've had keeps them fit. And it's such a big game tonight. The adrenaline's still in the system, and I'm sure they'll go out and perform as well as they can.
Do you expect Wolves to come at you looking for revenge from that Coca-Cola Cup defeat?
Again, it's not all about revenge, and I've heard it said before. It's about how you're playing the 3 points. You know, we're just as keen on the 3 points as they are.
Wish you all the best tonight.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thanks, Steve.
Swindon's Steve McMahon talking to George Gavin there. Now let's give you a couple of today's football headlines, just in case you've missed them. The Football Association today confirmed that they'll be asking Arsenal's Ian Wright for his comments after an outspoken personal attack on Sheffield Wednesday manager David Pleat. Wright has 14 days to respond. Another man in trouble with the FA is Everton boss Joe Royle. He's been charged with bringing the game into disrepute following remarks he made to referee David Ellery at Blackburn last weekend. Meanwhile, Liverpool have been drawn against Sion of Switzerland in the European Cup Winners' Cup, the second round, and in the UEFA Cup, Aberdeen have been paired with the Danish side Brøndby, and Newcastle United face a tough tie against Ferencváros of Hungary. And talking about Newcastle United in Europe, a date for your diaries next Thursday evening over on Sky Sports 2. Bobby Charlton's scrapbook features Newcastle's triumph in the Intercities Fairs Cup back in 1969.
But is Moncur again for Newcastle, keeping this defence under pressure all the time. Moncur, and goal, his second goal.
Moncur, and Moncur scored. That's Moncur again. Fantastic. Come out to Scott. Scott with a chance. Scott with a shot. Then Aaron Top, it's a goal, a lovely goal. Newcastle have equalised. So it's Bobby Moncur, the captain of Newcastle United, receiving the Intercities Fairs Cup and showing it to the fans. And the Hungarian fans are cheering as much as the few Tyneside fans.
Well, it's a great show to watch. Bobby Charlton's scrapbook. Special guest Bobby Moncur from that winning side for Newcastle United. Next Thursday at 11 o'clock, make a date, Sky Sports 2. And Alan Brazil, it's incredible, isn't it? Newcastle, that's the last trophy that they've won.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, but I think they're getting there again, aren't they? You know, they've revitalised. Keegan has the North East. In fact, not just Keegan, you know, look at Brian Robson, Peter Reid. I think it's a great place to watch football at the moment. But Newcastle, if they keep progressing, keep improving, it won't be long before they're knocking at the door again. But it is an amazing statistic. Quite incredible.
OK, it's a view of Alan. We can see Newcastle, of course, on Monday Night Football against Aston Villa. But back to this evening's live match from Nationwide Division 1. Let's check out both the forms of both of our teams tonight. Here's Friday night's football's form guide, starting off with Swindon Town. Swindon's return to the First Division got off to a disappointing start, a 2-0 defeat at Norwich. Their first point of the campaign came a week later against Port Vale. Mark Robinson, the scorer, in a 1-1 draw. That was followed by the first win of the league season versus Oldham. Best performance so far came at Southend at the end of last month, a fine 3-1 win with Kevin Watson amongst the scorers. 2 defeats followed against Grimsby and Portsmouth before a useful win at home to Tranmere. And last weekend, Steve Cow scored a spectacular goal as Swindon picked up a valuable point at Queen's Park Rangers. And here's our form guide gameometer for Swindon Town. It's been a little up and down for them. At the moment, they're currently in 12th position. Confirmation of their current league record for you. And the last 3 league games. They lost by a goal to 0 against Portsmouth. They beat Tranmere 2-1 and drew 1-1 with Queen's Park Rangers. And their next 3 fixtures, of course, tonight's game against Wolves. Then they're away to Bradford and away to Ipswich Town. Now the Friday night football form guide for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And what a start for Steve Bull on the opening Saturday. A hat-trick for Bully as Wolves won 3-1 at Grimsby. A week later, same story, Bull on target again. Another 3 points, this time against Bradford. 4 days later, Simon Osborne came back to haunt his old club as Wolves and Rangers drew 1-1 at Molineux. That was followed by the first league defeat of the season in a bad-tempered encounter at Norwich. Mark McGee wasn't happy with the referee that day, but Wolves went down to a hotly disputed penalty. A week later, it was Wolves' turn to benefit from the spot. This time, Charlton weren't pleased with the official's decision, but Andy Thompson scored yet another penalty for the club to grab all 3 points. After a 1-1 draw at Oxford, it was Ewan Roberts' turn to shine live on Sky Sports 3. A historic hat-trick in a pulsating 4-2 win at West Brom. But last weekend, disappointment for Mark McGee and his team. A last-minute Sheffield United goal sending Wolves to their first home defeat of the campaign. And this is our form guide gameometer for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've always been up near the top of the table. Currently they're 4th. And their current league record for you. This is how they've done in their last 3 games in the league. Drew 1 apiece at Oxford, won 4-2 in that wonderful live game against West Brom, and they lost 2-1 to Sheffield United. The next 3 games, of course, playing Swindon tonight, then they're at home to Bolton, and then they play at home to Reading. And the head-to-head. This is the overall picture. Haven't played that many times, only 10 times. Swindon have won 6, Wolves only 2, just a couple of draws. And at the county ground, they played 5 times. Swindon have won 5, Wolves have won none, and there's been no draws. That's an extraordinary record, isn't it? And the odds, this is what the bookies are saying. 6-4 Swindon, 6-4 Wolves, and 11-5 the draw. John Gorman, I'm interested to hear what your thoughts about Wolverhampton Wanderers are. We've heard what Alan had to say about them. What do you think their strengths are?
Well, obviously, players like Steve Bull is a player I've always rated very highly, and he's still there. He keeps on scoring the goals for his club, and so it's such a good name. And we have played against him when I was at the club, obviously, as you can see the record. I didn't realise Swindon did very well against Wolves, but Bully was always the one to stop. He was always the man to watch, and possibly it would be the same tonight.
Yeah, it is an extraordinary record. Played 5 at the county ground against Wolves and won 5. Doesn't look good for Mark McGee, does it? The Portons are not good, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen.
But every game's different, and I'm sure that tonight's will be. I think Stephen Mann was right to say that the players are really fit and should be okay for tonight, but it might just take its toll a little bit after having a game so close, playing against Queen's Park Rangers in extra time on Wednesday night.
Swindon Town, Alan, they've got some good young players. Steve McMahon has really got them playing, hasn't he?
Steve's a great character, you know, a fierce competitor when he was playing, and I think he's done remarkably well, and he's rightly been branded as one of the game's brightest managers, there's no doubt about it. And I think Swindon are handily placed, you know, I think lying in 12th, and if they win tonight, you know, they climb the table again. But I don't think it's going to be the night tonight. You know, I fancied Wolves to beat West Brom our last game, with Wolves involved, and I really fancy Wolves again tonight, and especially I think Bull and Roberts to cause havoc again.
All right, well, we'll get your official prediction a little later on the show, but let's keep you right up to date now with the form guide for Swindon Town. Of course, in the League Cup, they're playing Queen's Park Rangers. They lost the first leg last week, 2-1 at home, but Wayne Sullivan put Swindon 1-0 up 2 minutes before half-time. Matthew Brazier, he looked to have put QPR on the way to victory. And then Wayne Ellison sent the tie to extra time when he headed home Mark Walters' cross. So it was all tied up on the night, so... And then, in extra time, when we thought we might be going to penalties, super sub Peter Thorne scored the winner in the 102nd minute to put Swindon 3-1 up on the night and through 4-3 on aggregate. So, confirmation that they are through to the next round, and a marvellous draw. So many of our nationwide teams up against big Premiership opposition. Manchester United played Swindon Town. What about that? That's a great time for Swindon, isn't it?
It's just a shame it wasn't at Swindon. But they can go there full of confidence, can't they?
Yeah. And then we've got York, the Giant Killers, playing Leicester City. Liverpool travelling to Charlton Athletic. Coventry against Gillingham. Stoke City playing Arsenal. Wimbledon against Luton. Ellie Lawrence is with us on Sunday afternoon for our Football League Live programme. Port Vale, of course, one of the teams we're featuring on Sunday. Chelsea, they're going to play Bolton away, and Bolton are really on fire at the moment, aren't they, John?
Yeah, we've been talking about them in the top league, scoring lots and lots of goals, and with Chelsea scoring goals and the last couple of games leaking goals, it should be an interesting tie.
And West Ham are playing Nottingham Forest, all Premiership tie. Leeds United against Aston Villa, a repeat, of course, of last year's final. And you can see that game on Sky Sports 3 on the 23rd of October. But some cracking ties, really great ties there. Now, we've seen Wolves a few times here on Sky Sports 3 already this season. So let's concentrate for the moment on one or two of the Swindon faces to watch out for this evening on Friday Night Football. We were talking about some good young players, but let's start with Ian Culverhouse, who, of course, used to play for Spurs and Norwich. You'll know about him, Alan, won't you?
When I was at Tottenham, only for a season and a half, Ian was a young player. And he was a bit of a full-back, calm. He could play centre-half, but he was quick, tough in the tackle. And I think he was very, very disappointed to have left Norwich City, but he looks to have settled down now with Swindon.
What do you make of Ian, John?
Well, funny enough, I tried to sign him just before I left in a loan situation. He actually got sent off in a reserve game against Swindon, and we couldn't get him for that reason. But Steve and Andy Rowlands came right in and got him straight away.
Now, another player that the face will certainly be instantly recognisable. He's played for a lot of clubs. Mark Walters, great player.
On his day,
Yeah.
great player. You know, he's got so many tricks. Seems to get half a yard, gets wonderful crosses in. Alisson will be looking for him getting past the fullback, trying to feed off his crosses. But he's got to be involved in the game. He needs the ball to feet and let him have a run at defenders.
Just the one cap for England. One of the young players that we were talking about. Seen him on the form guide. A really good young player, Steve Cow of Swindon Town. Going from Aston Villa for £100,000 in March. John Gorman, what do you know about Stevie?
Well, what I know about him is the chief scout of Swindon, Les O'Neill, was raving about him and saying what a good young player he is, and he has settled in very well. I didn't see much of him myself, but the reports I've had is he's been playing really well.
Yeah, seen much of him this
No,
season.
haven't, apart from that great goal against QPR. You know, cut inside, right foot, what a strike. And I've heard good reports, but I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight.
Steve McMahon will settle for a goal like that tonight, won't he? As long as he wins, I guess. Another familiar face who's been around a little bit, Kevin Horlock.
He's a boy that I know very much about and really, really like him, respect him a lot. I think he's got a great future, a great attitude. Started as a left back, and we got him from West Ham on a free transfer, and he's now a Northern Ireland international. And he scores goals, he makes great runs from midfield. I think he's one to watch out for tonight.
Yeah. Have you seen Horlock play much?
No, I haven't, but as soon as his name came up, John says, oh, I like him, good player, so I'll be watching him closely tonight.
Just a few of the faces of Swindon Town to watch out for this evening. Now let's check on the first to score tonight. Steve Bull, well, what a surprise. There he is, the favourite, 5-1. Cow of Swindon, 6-1. Alisson of Swindon, 6-1. Ewan Roberts, I'm surprised he's at 7-1 behind the other two there. But Mark Walters, 12-1.
Wolves as well, do you?
I'm not saying yet. And let's have a look at some of the longer shots.
Wayne O'Sullivan.
Thompson at a bad bet because he takes the pens.
He's the penalty king, isn't he?
Wayne O'Sullivan always
And look, there's
pops up.
Ian Culverhouse. I think he's going for his... He's only ever scored one goal, going for his second goal tonight, 66-1.
That was the gym at Tottenham.
Fancy a tenner on that, do you,
I think Wayne Allison is a player, and I had him at Bristol City as well, and he's a player to watch as well, who, as you've seen in one of the goals, in there, any crosses that comes in tonight, he's excellent in there. And he'll be a handful, the same as Bull will be, he'll be a handful for Wolves' defence tonight.
County ground's not an easy place to go. How important will the fans be tonight for Swindon? Can they intimidate Wolves a bit?
I don't think they'll be intimidating because they've been used to a patient style of football now for a few years. But at the same time, it's always, no matter what they say, it's always a little bit of a crunch game, this, and there's a little bit of needle. I don't think it'll be a quiet game by any means. I think it'll be a strong physical game.
So who are you going to go for, your old club?
Yes, I think I'll still go for Swindon, although it'll be a very tight match. I think Wolves are due a result, but I'll go against Stalin tonight and go for Swindon.
No, you're going for Wolves, but you've just let that out of the bag a couple of minutes ago. I don't mind you doing that, really.
Time, you haven't asked me.
No, but now I'm going to tie you down to a score now.
No, we've not had a 0-0 yet. Wolves will win 2-0.
OK, that's what the boys say. Let's join our commentary team now. Dave Bassett, and with them, of course, Rob Hawthorne.
And welcome to the county ground, where I'm sure there must be a few questions about the physical state of Swindon after that dramatic extra time at Loftus Road on Wednesday, Dave Bassett.
Well, I think Wolves will be delighted that they had extra time and that they're playing them within 48 hours. That must be an advantage psychologically. Steve McMahon has said his team's fit, and rightly so. The adrenaline will be flowing. The fact that they've won that game, they'll be delighted, and they've got Manchester United to play. So, you know, that's a good thing for Swindon. But I think late as the game goes on, Wolves will be up for it, and they may be thinking that last 15 minutes could be vital.
Well, despite the exhausting nature of Wednesday's cup game at Loftus Road, the starting 11 for Swindon is the same. Peter Thorne, who came on as a substitute to score the winner, is back on the bench along with Kevin Watson and Steve Finney. Gary Elkins makes his home debut as Swindon are still without defenders Frederick Darras and Jason Drysdale, who both have suffered hamstring injuries.
Yes, I think Steve will start with the sweeper system. He has tinkered and used a back four on a few occasions, but I feel that for tonight's game he's likely to want to mark Bull and Ewan Robertson, have Culverhouse as the extra cover there, because Robinson and Horlock can get wide and they can get down. They've got good engines to get up and down, and that will allow Walters to float where he wants in support of the front two. And I think it'll be the line-up and the way that Steve wants his team to play, with Leach and O'Sullivan in midfield, providing the ammunition for the front three.
Well, Wolves have had a fairly stable lineup all season, but having made just 2 changes in all of their games up to now, they make 2 this evening. Simon Osborne jarred his knee during pre-season, and the injury has now become too much to bear. And Steve Corica, whose form has been inconsistent to say the least, is on the substitutes bench.
Yeah,
Darren Ferguson, whose only previous start this season was in the Coca-Cola Cup here, begins again this evening, and Neil Emblin makes his first appearance of the campaign.
I think the Wolves line-up is we expect it to be. Obviously, I think Mark's been forced to make changes because Corica hasn't done well enough, and that's allowed Darren Ferguson to come into the side. And one assumes that Emblem will go to the back and Mark Atkins will go into midfield. I mean, Emblem can play in midfield, and it's whether Mark McGee thinks he might be better to do that and have runs. But I think initially he'll get Emblem at the back, and he'll be looking to, again, to rely on Smith and Froggatt to give them the width and get the crosses into the box to give Bull and Roberts the ammunition that they like in the aerial combat and the physical contact.
Case of deja vu for many of them here tonight after the previous Swindon Wolves Coca-Cola Cup tie at the county ground. It's a fairly blustery evening, as the flag itself will show, but at least it's dry. It was a rainy night here 5.5 weeks ago when these same sets of supporters braved the weather for the cup contest. Swindon's lead established in that match was sufficient to win the tie, despite their defeat in the return match at Molineux. Well, will the Robins be rocking later on? Certainly past form suggests that they will, because Wolves have never ever won at this ground. A ground which has been Swindon's home now for 101 years. It's a ground that was actually a prisoner of war camp during the Second World War, with huts out on the pitch. And we've heard already in the programme about their forward-thinking plans to develop a new casino here. It'll be the first casino at a European football venue, and will give those who want the opportunity to gamble just that chance. But I think it was the Coca-Cola Cup tie here that convinced Mark McGee that Jamie Smith was worth a regular place in the lineup. He was a little disappointed at the service that was provided by his right wing back. It was a great break for Smith to get back into the team at the expense of the new man Serge Romano, and he's held on to his place ever since. No introductions needed down there, I'm sure. Sides having already met twice this season. Swindon just delaying their arrival as Steve Bull prepares to lead out the Wolves team. Mark Seagraves, the Swindon captain, just emerging. And David Allison, tonight's match referee, leads the teams out to this very homely venue in Wiltshire. They may have a gambling future here with the prospective opening of this new casino, but in the promotion stakes, you may be tempted to place your bets on Wolves. On countless occasions in the past, though, this has proved to be a very unpredictable division. It's a mugs game forecasting, so who's your money on tonight? Swindon or Wolves?
Sunday, it's festival season in an all-new Simpsons, man.
So get ready for some well-supervised craziness.
Nice shoes you're talking. Like, wow, Homer's reliving his youth.
I think you're cool, Homer Simpson. That was me.
And, like, he's scored a new gig.
Hi, everybody.
If you take one more cannonball to the gut, you will die.
Dying would be a stone through.
A brand new Simpsons, Sunday at 6 on Sky One. Far out.
If your orange phone is lost, broken or stolen, we will replace it within 24 hours. Free of charge. No other network does this. The future's bright. The future's orange.
Brill Cream shampoo specially for men, you say? Men? Well, I suppose men are different to women, aren't they? And it's got protein. That's good. You know, our Carl was brought up on a very healthy diet. Come on, Jimmy. Come on. Well, it's handy this shampoo's soap-free because he hated bath time. Bless him.
New Brill Cream shampoo, made for men. Every day, over 5 million people do exactly the same thing. Save for the future with Nationwide.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last.
In tune with people. Nationwide.
The sharpest shooters team up in pairs for the WDC World Team Championship. Can last year's winners, Priestley and Bristow, make their mark again? Or will a new team knock them from their podium? The WDC World Team Championship, Wednesday at 2, live on Sky Sports 1.
Friday night football here on Sky Sports 3. We're at the county ground, Swindon Town against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Get ready for the whole first half live. Here's our commentary team, Dave Bassett and Rob Hawthorne.
Tonight's match referee is David Allison from Lancaster in his final of 20 seasons as a league official, and this is his first visit to the county ground. Wolves looking for their first ever victory at the county ground, but it's Swindon who'll get the match underway. Their 13th fixture of the season. They've just had 3 in succession against Queen's Park Rangers, and this is their 3rd against Wolves. They beat them here by 2-0 in the first leg of the Coca-Cola Cup. Lost the return 1-0 at Molineux, but still progressed in the context of the tie. And an early award of the first corner of the match won by Co-op Froggatt. Walters, who set up both the goals for Swindon in the tie here, has come across to take the corner. Driven in low, Froggatt hesitated before clearing. There's Walters. Teasing his way past Froggatt and getting the cross in. Venus lunging with a clearance away. Here's Ewan Roberts. Played forward by Ferguson to Bull. Snapping away at him was Leach. And tidied up by Seagraves. Headed around by Coe to Allison. Walters, who has a fairly free role in a very flexible Swindon system, has now pulled away to the left-hand side. And Wolves, it appears, Dave, starting actually with Emblem in the midfield and Atkins continuing his role in the centre of the defence.
That's correct, Rob. We did discuss that possibility, because Emblem has played there and he can break forward and scored quite a few goals. Although basically he started off as a centre-half, and one felt that with Atkins having been a previous midfield player, that Mark McGee had the two options, but he's obviously elected to keep the back three the same, which he must be relatively satisfied with their performances over the last few weeks.
Certainly Atkins has won many admirers for his performances in that role. O'Sullivan using a bit of trickery to go around Froggatt, but it didn't get past Ferguson.
Well, they've gained 2 corners in as many minutes, Swindon, and that's just the sort of attacking impetus they'd want at this stage. And that could be well from the confidence of their victory the other night, which, you know, players find the adrenaline's going well and their confidence is good. And Wolves will do well to make sure they defend these correctly.
Froggatt conceding another corner. Sullivan. Walters, still plenty for him in the box. The guiding header, oh, and it was a tricky one to deal with, and Atkins relieved to see that flash wide of the post, very relieved.
Well, we've seen a few of those fly in the net, own goals. You can see the short corners worked here. Walters gets it onto his left foot, he whips it in on the goal. There's a touch at the near post by the Swindon player, and with Atkins then has to dive to clear the ball away and does well to get it away for a corner.
Home team giving Wolves some awkward early moments, and Mark Atkins in particular. Kevin Horlock. Allison. This is O'Sullivan. Very fluid midfield formation that Swindon operate. Sullivan often interchanging with Walters and Leach. And even though the sides have played each other twice already this season, each manager has kept a check on the performance of the other's side in the subsequent matches, just for any little alterations in this very fast-moving game. Mark McGee was at Loftus Road on Wednesday night to see that Swindon performance against Queen's Park Rangers. Darren Ferguson. Clearance from Leach. Last time the sides met in the league was at Molineux back in May 1995, and that finished as a 1-1 draw. Andy Thompson scored a penalty for Wolves and Peter Thorne scored for Swindon. And they're the last scorers for their respective clubs in their most recent matches this season. Thompson scored a penalty in Wolves' last game against Sheffield United, and Thorne scored what proved to be the winner at Loftus Road on Wednesday, having come on as a substitute. This is Gary Elkins on his home debut, trying to launch it forward towards Allison.
That was quite cool play by Atkins. I wasn't sure if he knew that Allison was behind him.
Culverhouse winning the throw. Robinson. Here's Wayne O'Sullivan. Ball on. Elkins looking to release O'Sullivan, and it's Andy Thompson with the header away. Very versatile and adaptable player, Thompson. Been playing on the left in recent weeks, switched over to the right tonight. Fed in by Elkins to Steve Coe. And this is Mark Seagraves. Strange actually to watch a Swindon team without the influence of Sean Taylor, who's been such a mainstay of the side in recent years, but Seagraves has taken over the captain's armband from Taylor, who's now moved on to Bristol City. Robinson. Number 4, Leach. And this is Elkins.
With both teams, both more or less playing the same system at the moment, they're inclined to cancel one another out, and they're being very cautious in that both sides are defensively strong at this stage. But as this game progresses, then it'd be interesting to see how the midfield players on both sides start to influence the game.
Both teams know each other so well. Only Emblem in the Wolves side didn't appear in either of the Coca-Cola Cup matches. And Elkins and O'Sullivan on the Swindon team didn't appear in either of the previous fixtures this season. The mentality of a league fixture very different to the two-legged format over which they appeared earlier in the season. Ian Culverhouse. This is Robinson. Walters looking to set Robinson away, but Darren Ferguson has it covered. Ball. And this is Ewan Roberts, and he's released Andy Thompson, who did well to keep that in. Smith has made a run into the box, but it was never going to carry as far as him, and Elkins tidied up. Richards coming in very firmly on Coe. Atkins. Playing very coolly on his return to a ground which had something of a nightmare for him in the previous encounter here. This is Bull trying to take on Seagraves. It was a vital foot to the ball that the Swindon skipper got.
Steve Bull was a little bit unfortunate there with the touch. He turned inside and it looked like he'd beaten the defender, but Seagraves managed just to get a foot in there. Otherwise, Bull would have been in a good position to actually go straight through on goal.
Bull has already scored 5 for Wolves this season. We saw his last goal live in front of the Sky cameras in that 4-2 hammering that Wolves dished out to their local rivals, West Brom. But it was his striking partner who stole the headlines that day, Ewan Roberts, with his first hat-trick for the club. Emblen's header. Clearance effected by Seagraves onto the head of Wayne Allison. Atkins leaving it to his goalkeeper, and it was a reliable decision. Mike Stahl has yet to keep a clean sheet in an away game for Wolves so far this season, although 3 out of 5 of his home games have seen Wolves shut out their opponents. Ball off, finding Coe. Coe trying to tease his way past Richards. Walters. Ball from Elkins. This is Mark Robinson. O'Sullivan. 40 on a free kick for the push from Thompson. But the throw into Wolves was the award. Ferguson. Switching it to Smith. This is Richards. Ferguson. Mark Venus. Wolverhampton looking for Allison. Wayne Allison, who was actually at Watford as the same time as Ewan Roberts. Well, they never really got to play together because they were more in competition for the same place. Flag up for offside.
I think both sides are still feeling one another out here, Rob. There's been no real efforts on goal other than the early sort of start that Swindon got with the corners, and I think the systems are cancelling one another out, and it's going to need a goal to open up either team.
Mark McGee has all season been preaching the virtues of patience to break down opposing teams, particularly in home matches. Feels that the best performance along those lines was the draw that they achieved at home against Queen's Park Rangers. Although in truth his team have actually picked up more points on their travels, 7 from 12 so far in their away games. Their only defeat on away territory was at Norwich. Here's Richards. Atkins. And again, the break had been made too early. Thompson just straying beyond the back line. Atkins had launched it long.
Yes, it's a long ball that he's tried to find through, but Thompson had made the run far too early. It was a good run, particularly with Swindon trying to hold the defensive line there.
The last time the sides met in the league here, it was a game that produced 5 goals. Swindon winning by 3 goals to 2 on that day. It was back in October 1994, and at the time Swindon were 5th in the First Division. But by the time the sides met for the return match at Molineux, Swindon had already suffered the fate of relegation. Such was their decline. Ferguson for Wolves, with Roberts and Bull ahead of him. But he held it up well and spotted the run of Atkins, who bursts usefully from the back. Wolverhampton had read the situation impeccably. And now Walters for Swindon finds Coe. Porlock offering support. Now Leach looking for some room in the midfield. Robinson. Leach in support just to his left. It's O'Sullivan on his right. Now Scott Leach. Both teams playing the patient game and, in all senses of the words, cancelling each other out. Robinson.
I think we've seen the ball in midfield all the time because of the system and the amount of players played in the midfield area. But that was a good break by Atkins when he came out of the back and gave the Wolves an attacking option, and he went forward with some purpose, but there was good defending by Culverhouse, who read the situation.
Now Ball looking to launch one at goal. It skipped away from Culverhouse that time. Decided that the only way he was going to crack open the defence was with a long-distance shot.
That's right. Steve Ball picked it up in the style we're used to. He gets his head down, he's left Culverhouse, and he looks to get his shot in. You know, in those instances, he's not going to look to pass to anybody else. He's hit the target, and really that's the first shot either keeper's had to save.
Shot went past Gary Elkins, but not past Frank Talia in the Swindon goal. So Wolves getting the first serious effort on target. And they're just starting to look a little more menacing. Atkins, this is Ball again. Elkins sticking with him. Right idea to spread it to Smith, but Porlock intervened. This is Emblin. And it's a Swindon throw. Neil Emblin playing his first match since last April. Keith Curl, whom it was anticipated would play a big part in Wolves' defence this season, still very much sidelined. Mark McGee unable to call on the man that he bought from Manchester City. Curl here tonight has been involved in some reunions with McGee's opposite number, Steve McMahon. Leach knocking it on. This is Walters. And now Coe. Allison and Walters both waiting in the box. Was there a shot there from Coe? The referee says not. Looking for Allison! Coe did well, showed good strength on that flank.
Yes, he showed good strength. He held his man off, his chum, he's checked back on the right foot. He swung it in, and the ball's gone over Venus, and Wayne Allison will be disappointed with that finish. He really should hit the target from there. He got in between Venus and Froggatt, and it was unmarked.
Swindon awarded a corner, Walters taking it. There was a powerful run in by Gary Elkins. Walters looking for a handball decision against Froggatt that wasn't forthcoming, but Walters quickly back on guard to dispossess Ferguson. Here's O'Sullivan. Allison and Coe both waiting. Robinson. Looking for Allison again, but Richards climbing behind him. Allison, Atkins at his back, finds Leach. He's always going off target from the minute it left Scott Leach's left boot. Scott Leach scored his only goal for Swindon in the 2-0 victory over Wolves here in the Coca-Cola Cup. And on that occasion it all stemmed from a position when Mark Atkins gave the ball away to Mark Walters. Atkins has been called upon very firmly in a defensive sense for Wolves so far tonight. Coe, and there is Atkins again. You can see why Mark McGee wasn't tempted to tinker with the defensive formation.
No, certainly Atkins has done very well. He's got some good blocks in, and he's been playing with the two other centre-halves, so they will have a good understanding between them.
Whipped in by Walters. The goalkeeper come a long way. It's a vital touch. Leach. Scott Leach hitting one. Stahl didn't look particularly comfortable with it.
That was a good effort. They came out of the tights with Horlock. He does well. He plays it off his front foot on the left. Leach gets his head down. Hits one of those shots, and it's bouncing just in front of the keeper, which are always difficult to contend with. and the keeper would be delighted that scrambled away to safety.
Swindon's best spell of the match so far, and they've won a throw. Horlock taking it. Elkins feeding Allison. Emblem. Cullen Roberts ahead of him. Thompson making a run just behind. Using Jamie Smith. Thompson. Ball. There's Neil Emblem. 3 Wolves players waiting. Seagraves with a clearance to Darren Ferguson. And Venus's cross blocked by Leach. Froggatt away from Culverhouse, trying to place it through for Jamie Smith. Smith has still to score his first goal for Wolves, and he had an eye for goal there, had an inkling it might be his moment.
That was Wolves' first sort of period of sustained pressure. They kept the ball quite comfortably for a period of time. They waited for their opportunity, and young Jamie Smith finds himself on the edge of the box. He's trying the left foot curler, but that's way off target.
That spell of Wolves pressure only coming after they'd been stung into life by Swindon, who are quickly on the attack again now with Steve Coe. Came off Atkins.
Young Coe looks as if he's quite lively, Rob. It's the first time I've seen him, and he's making some good runs. And to be fair, the movement of the 3 Swindon midfield players is quite inventive, and it's a little bit more inventive than Wolves is at this moment.
Another Mark Walters corner. Complete miss kick by Sullivan after Froggatt had headed away. Lined it up spectacularly, but completely lacking with the execution. Walters dazzling with his old skills, but failing to provide with the cross.
Well, we've seen that trick a few times, and a few people have bought that trick. Unfortunately for Mark Walters, the cross wasn't quite up to the standard of the skill there. We've seen it, the little step over there. He rolled back there, dragged back, a little bit of step over. See you, get me an ice cream, and unfortunately he's hit the pylon.
They have seen it loads of times before, but they still fall for it, don't they?
Oh, that's right. Glenn Rhodey used to do it. Everybody knew he was going to do it, and it's easy to talk about it. It's actually not being caught out. Actually, I wasn't sure you nearly went in the crowd, Rob.
Here's Allison. Mark Walters, whose skills were once on display for Wolves when he had a spell on loan there. Steve Coe. Forced into the corner by Mark Atkins. Buys Wolves some time to mount their rear guard against the Horlock throw. Coe certainly keeping the pressure on this Wolves defence. A player whose career actually started in the West Midlands. He was a young apprentice at Aston Villa. At the same time, incidentally, that Steve Froggatt was on the staff at Villa Park, before Steve McMahon stepped in to snap Coe up. Here is Froggatt. Ferguson. And away by Froggatt to Seagraves. Elkins. Well, Allison flagged offside. Looked pretty tight.
It certainly did look tight. The linesman reacted very quickly. I think we see there. It is quite a tight situation. It looks like the linesman's got the benefit of the doubt and was about right.
Roberts backing into the defender.
Well, I think he was trying to catch it as well.
Both teams really have powerhouse presences in their attack. Seagraves is in for a testing evening facing Bull and Roberts. But Wayne Allison can be expected to exert a fair bit of pressure on the Wolves' defence too. They're looking for him now. Venus up behind him with a header clear. Atkins.
Good referee in there. Steve Ball was looking for Culverhouse. He had no intention of getting the ball. He was trying to pin him there, and the referee didn't buy that.
Turned away by Elkins. Harry Elkins, whose two previous appearances for Swindon have both been against Queen's Park Rangers at Loftus Road. They played them in the league and played them in the Coca-Cola Cup in midweek. He appeared in both. Leach. Break on the left has been made by Horlock. Smith sticking with it. Leach, well, he looked for the low cross when they might instead have been looking for the height of Wayne Allison, and that's allowed Wolves to break and come on to Swindon here. Floggart had made a good run forward. Venus's stumble has just given Swindon a bit more time to get back.
That was a good opportunity for Wolves to break there, but Venus started to dither. He should have passed the ball and carried on the run. He had Ferguson, and in the end he just ran into Swindon players who got an opportunity to get back.
Here's Emblin. He was hoping to slip it through to Roberts, but Seagraves was well aware of what he was intending to do. Now space for O'Sullivan to move into, but Wolves do have plenty of players back. He still slipped it round to Wayne Allison. There are four Wolves defenders. Oh! Well, you can never bet against this man Allison scoring from whatever range and whatever angle, and he gave Stowell a real worry there.
Yeah, that certainly was. I think actually he was doing a whip cross, but it then took a vicious sort of direction towards the goal, and the goalkeeper's done well there. He could have been caught out.
I remember seeing Allison crack in a magnificent goal in the FA Cup last season against Cardiff, and that would have been eye-catching too.
There we see, they get the break on. Allison makes a good run from inside to out. He gets his head up, he's trying to get the cross in, but as you can see, it wasn't quite the cross he wanted, but it certainly tested the goalkeeper.
It's on target. It's the second moment of anxiety that Mike Stowell and the Wolves goal has had. Both efforts that may have just taken him a little bit by surprise. Scott Leach. And now Allison.
I think Wolves are conscious that they don't want to lose this game tonight. They're not taking any chances. The goalkeeper isn't really looking to play out or throw out to the back players. They're looking to push up and use the goalkeeper's kick to play off of Roberts and Ball tonight.
It was very disappointing for them to lose their last match at home against Sheffield United. But by their manager's own admission, they've blown hot and cold this season. They're looking for Ball with this Thompson cross, and the goalkeeper's lost it, and it's gone in!
It certainly looked a foul from where I am, and the referee was well placed in his experience, and I think one could say the goalkeeper's impeded. Sometimes I feel goalkeepers are protected far more than they should be, but in this particular instance, I felt my reaction was that the goalkeeper's definitely fouled. Yes, ball's gone up and he's sort of impeding. Although he's gone up early, he's got a front across the goalkeeper there. You can see the cross is one of those high ones. Talier's coming for it, ball's there, and I think on 9 times out of 10, the referees will disallow the goal.
As David Allison did on this occasion, much to Bull's disappointment. May just have shown them a little chink in Talier's armour, perhaps. It was a hopeful one from Andy Thompson.
It was a fighting cross, Rob.
Ferguson, Bull. More straightforward for the goalkeeper that time.
Again, Steve Bull, though. There's Steve. He's done that over the years, isn't it? It comes to him, his head's down and whack. He puts the shot in straight away. He's not looking to pass off to anybody. He sees the goal and he's going for it, and nobody can blame him for that.
Well, Atkins displayed great composure there. He was a lot more confident than he might have been against the sharp skills of Steve Coe. Emblem. This is Ewan Roberts. Sliding challenge from Culverhouse. After our visit to the Potteries last weekend for Stoke Huddersfield, we're back in the same neck of the woods for our next Nationwide League match on Sunday. It's Port Vale against Bradford, and join us on Sky Sports 3 from 12 noon. Ewan Roberts away from Seagraves, who tucked him back. He fell in the area, but the offence, I think, took place outside the box.
That was good skill by Ewan Roberts. Seagraves definitely grabbed his shirt. Whether the referee sees it as a sending off offence, I'm not sure, but he certainly is a booking, and Seagraves, you know, he's got no complaints here. Ewan Roberts has definitely got through past him. It was a good control.
Well, the body language would suggest that it will be a yellow for Seagraves, but what does David Allison do? It is a yellow.
Yes, you can see Roberts took good there, and Seagraves is pulling him back. There's no doubt about it. You know, I mean, he's got no complaints there, really. He's lucky it wasn't in a more difficult position attacking-wise. The referee obviously felt that there was 1 or 2 other Swindon players who could get back to stop it being a professional foul.
They've just taken the free kick a little too quickly, or maybe Leach emerged from the wall too rapidly. The wall is 10 yards now. 10 yards to the referee's liking. It's Atkins! Carlier kept his eye on it and kept control of the final shot.
Yes, good save, a fine save by the keeper. You can see that Wolves have tricked this charger from going back. Atkins strikes it well, and the keeper brings off a good save there.
Now at the other end, Coe looking to provide some excitement for Swindon. Back to Horlock. Allison forced away to Leach. Robinson. And the clearance by Ferguson comes off Roberts. Seen some fairly useful free kicks during the course of this season. Steve Sedgley's for Ipswich against Charlton stands out last week. The one that, or the offence that led to Atkins' free kick, brought a yellow card for Mark Seagraves for pulling back Ewan Roberts. Talia dealt well with the final delivery from Mark Atkins. Going in strongly on Mark Robinson.
That's right, Mark's got up and got on with it. Good professional attitude. it's good to see that, because sometimes we see players looking to get other players booked and they lay down and pretend they're hurt, and you know, well played to Mark Robinson.
Talia taking plenty of time to weigh up his options. Header away by Venus. Whipped forward by Ferguson. Culverhouse. O'Sullivan. Walters, support ahead of him from Horlock, turned in towards Wayne Allison. He's such a menace in the air to opposing defenders, and it just came off the top of his head. Beautifully whipped in cross again.
Yes, a good cross by Mark Walters, plenty of pace on it. He's come back on his right foot, he's swinging it on the goal, and Allison's in there challenging, and he's unfortunate there. That could have easily have ended up in the corner of the net there. He's up with Venus, he's got a touch, albeit he didn't know too much about it.
Mark Walters with a great cross, set up a headed goal for Allison in the match against Wolves here in the Coca-Cola Cup. I think Walters' cross came from the right-hand side on that occasion. But a moment ago he showed he was just as devastating from the opposite flank.
I think it's a finely even balanced game, Rob. As we said, there's a lot of midfield play, and some of the movement by the Swindon midfield play is very good, and it's quite inventive. But one must give Wolves credit away from home. They're defending, and when they have to get back, they're all back there. They're getting their blocks in, and they are restricting Swindon to any clear-cut opportunities.
Walters. Jostling with Steve Throggett. Walters trying all his old tricks on Andy Thompson, and Thompson has fouled him.
I must confess, I thought that was rather unfortunate to concede a free kick there, Thompson. I thought Walters was trying to manipulate the ball, and Thompson's just really put in front and taken the ball, and if anything, Walters might have fouled him.
Thompson's protested, but Walters has the free kick. Turned in awkwardly towards Allison. Richards did well, and then Elkins on the ball, on the floor, handled the ball. Free kick has been taken quickly. It's clear there that Wolves had marked out Allison as the main threat, and Richards gave him no room to head at goal. Bull. Emblem. Leach. This is Horlock. Pope. Smith sliding in. Elkins with a cross. And Venus having to get across before Wayne Allison could get there. One not letting the other out of his sight. Bit of a hold up because it looked as though Emblem has taken a knock. Only just back after a lengthy absence, but he's taken a blow to the right eye, it appears. I'll wake him up.
He looks a little bit dazed there, doesn't he? The smelling salts will soon wake him up.
Mark McGee has had a fairly settled lineup, more through the players available to him rather than by design this season. Simon Osborne out of the lineup this evening because of a recurring knee problem, which has given Darren Ferguson his chance. His only previous start was in the cup tie here at the county ground earlier in the season.
Well, that's good to see. Mr. Allison hasn't made Emblem go off the field like that stupid rule. He's had his treatment, he realised there was something wrong, he's taken the time off, and good refereeing.
One of the benefits maybe of being in your last season on the league list.
Quite correct.
You can do what you like without fearing what the assessor thinks. Paul let it go, and there was no teammate behind him, only Culverhouse. Holding their line, and Allison straying offside.
Yes, we see here that the ball's played through, just on the, again, very tight, that might have been level, it's very tight.
Roberts.
Fine play by Horlock.
Horlock showing his value there in a wing-back's role, in which some have questioned his value. He's renowned as a sprayer of passes from the midfield area. Here's Ferguson. Thompson. Thompson has turned back inside well, looking to combine with ball, and Seagraves with a clearance. It was neat thinking by Andy Thompson. He might have been tempted to push it out wide to Smith, but he thought he saw a route to goal.
The longer the half's gone on, the Wolves have crept more into the game. They've been able to impose themselves, but certainly early on, it was even Steven, and Swindon have had a very good spell where they caused problems by good movement by their front players and their midfield players.
Allison coming back to defend well against Smith, and now Coe to try and tease Atkins, but even if he beats him, he'll have Venus to deal with as well. Leach has charged forward. Scott Leach surged out from the back, did Leach.
A little bit of play where Mark Atkins was a bit sloppy and should have dealt with it early. It's come off him, but Coe's taken advantage. He's attacked him, he's got his head up, and Leach has made a good long run. He's come and he's placed a left foot shot, which has got the goalkeeper stretching. This is where one feels a goal might come when one team's pressing and it's the counter-attack. Otherwise, when they're both set up, both teams do seem to cancel one another out.
Richards holding off Coe this time. Push through to Ferguson. Ball ahead of him. Ferguson will have to go alone. Can he finish? It's gone in. Horlock came back to try and hold off Darren Ferguson, but he's forced it in for the opening goal in injury time of the first half.
Well, this was some good skill by Ferguson. He had a little bit of luck, but when the opportunity breaks for him, he receives the ball here. He goes through. He gets the nuts. He's going through, he's taking his time. It looks like he should have finished. Then all of a sudden it looks like it was too late, and he's got his right foot, and whether it's taken the deflection off. He's attacked Seagraves by putting it through his legs. The keeper's holding his ground. He's gone there, and he's a little bit fortunate in the end. We see he's through with the keeper. He's got his head up. He's probably taken a bit too long. And he hasn't seen Horlock coming in, but he's got the break and it's gone into the net, and Wolves would be delighted.
Well, he showed great determination to go through. Swindon had squeezed up looking for the offside. He knew he couldn't lay it off and he had to go it alone. And when he took it round the goalkeeper, Horlock was desperately coming back in, but Ferguson went all the way and watched, I'm sure, by a very proud father. Half-time, and Darren Ferguson has forced the opening that's given Wolves the lead in what had, up until that point in injury time in the first half, been a fairly evenly balanced first 45 minutes. Before Ferguson's intervention, Ball and Allison had provided the main threats for the respective teams, but Wolves have got the breakthrough, and at half-time, it's Swindon Town 0, Wolves 1.
He was expecting success.
This is the worst day of my life.
Instead, an old flame,
Meredith Johnson,
is his new boss.
No. She said you sexually harassed her.
I struggled with him, told him to stop.
He didn't know they'd thrown away the rules.
This is a goddamn bomb we're sitting on.
Now he's nothing left to do but fight.
They're setting me up.
Demi Moore.
You have no idea what you're up against.
Michael Douglas.
We'll see.
Disclosure. Premieres Saturday at 10 on Sky Movies.
Disclosure. Just one of 50 premieres this month on Sky's movie channels.
Call 0990 10 20 30 and we'll switch you on.
And those are the half-time scores.
If your Littlewood score drawers come up at half-time, you could now win £250,000 for no extra charge.
The teas and pies are on me!
Littlewood's pools get a result.
It's Sunday morning and I'm preparing my favourite breakfast. The main ingredient has to be shredded wheat. Just 100% whole wheat with no added sugar or salt. And then, only 'cause it's Sunday mine, I add just the top of the milk. And I sit in my favourite chair. I don't mind another chair, but I wouldn't want another cereal. Shredded wheat and bite size. There is no better cereal.
Oh, my hair. No shine. And as for volume, what can I do?
Oh, try something new. Experience from Wella with liquid hair. It contains the most important ingredients found naturally in hair to rebuild and strengthen, giving your hair more volume and more shine. Experience the new hair care range.
Finally, more volume and shine.
Wella, perfectly you.
If you watch Discovery Channel, you can feel what it's like to be a great white's breakfast.
And eat a widgety grub.
You can find out what spies in the sky know about you.
Big and gooey.
You can see how far you can push a performance car.
Great big grub.
You can fight off vertigo. Face first. You can go walkabout across the Australian bush.
Where they've got widgety grubs like this one. And they eat them. Nice.
How real do you want it?
See, I was walking all day. And I was hungry as a grizzly bear. I was walking all day. I was hungry as a grizzly bear. My imagination run away from me. Seems to flying all year.
$12 is for the price of 8. Fresher wine shops, adventures guaranteed.
For a home contents insurance policy with a no claims discount, call General Accident Direct on 0800 121 004.
Coming up over on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow afternoon, our live rugby union sees the second division's two big spenders meeting head-on. Richmond against Newcastle, Rob Andrew and co. Both unbeaten so far this season. Should be quite a battle. That starts at 2 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow afternoon. Here on Sky Sports 3 on live football this evening. Friday night football comes from the county ground. It's Swindon against Wolves in Nationwide Division 1. And Wolverhampton Wanderers leading by 1-0 at half-time. Scored by Darren Ferguson. 11 attempts on goal. Look at the corners. 7 for Swindon, none for Wolves. 8 fouls. Just one booking, a rather controversial one. We'll look at the incident that surrounds that in just a minute. And the first half action there is not a spectacular first half, but a couple of incidents that we're going to look at in just a minute with Alan and John. All in play for 28 minutes and 10 seconds, which isn't too bad. Overall impressions, Alan?
I think you were very fair to say it wasn't a spectacular first half. Overall impressions, I felt that Swindon were perhaps the best side and just lost the concentration towards the end of the first half. Wolves disappointed me, especially in the midfield area. They weren't closing Swindon Town down enough, and I thought Allison up front for them was very dangerous. I can't understand why Richards didn't go and pick him up, you know, because he's been the danger man, and I think they're fortunate to be ahead.
What did you think of your old team, John?
I agree with what Alan said, to be honest. It's the way the game started off very tentative, both sides, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Not a lot happening, but Swindon got the upper hand. And, I mean, Mark Down had about 4 or 5 half-decent efforts before Wolves really got into the game. Yeah. And then, unbelievably, Wolves almost scored a goal from, you know, the first good cross. Or it wasn't even a good cross, it was a loopy ball, and you'll probably see it was a challenge on the goalkeeper. OK, well, we'll have a look at that now. And we can see that. Now, was this a goal, Alan?
I think it is a goal. I couldn't head the ball, and it was sort of challenge I'd make the keeper. But that's not, there's no elbows up, there's no arms flying about. I think the keeper has been very weak indeed, and I think he's a lucky man. I thought this should have stood.
Do you think it was a goal, John?
No, I think in all honesty, the way it is nowadays, the goals very seldom get given. I think you've got to give the benefit to the goalkeeper there.
Andy Gray would have had the goal in the back of the net.
Yes,
it was
we've got to go with it.
Challenge.
The times have changed.
Right under it. I don't think.
It was an aggressive challenge, but you've seen them given the nil, but not now. They're very seldom given.
Now, another controversial incident, the Seagraves booking, but should it have been a sending off? Ewan Roberts looked to be cleared through. Now, Alan, you know the rules, and so do you, John. What do you make of this?
Guaranteed sending off. I don't like the rule, but he's pulled him back, and as far as I'm concerned, I think he was just about the last defender, and I think he's very lucky. There's no doubt the referee has a good look here, and he knows it's an infringement.
It's not a penalty, though.
It's not a penalty, no, because his first contact was certainly well outside the box.
It's definitely well outside, but the lad's dived inside. But
if he's the last man, he's off.
He should have gone, do you think?
I don't know. It's one of these.
You're sitting on the fence tonight, John.
No, I'm not. I think to be fair, it wasn't vicious. It was, but at the same time, it just depends. Again, we've not seen the full, not been at the match. Was there players behind them? I don't think so, but at the same time, it was pretty soft.
George Gavin just whistled in our ear. He said he was the last defender. Red card.
If George says so, it must be true. OK, Wolves did get a goal. Darren Ferguson, the scorer. And we say that this is definitely Darren Ferguson's goal. We'll hopefully confirm it to you on the screen now, but good bit of skill there.
He nutmegs Seagrave there, doesn't he? Look. And I thought when the keeper went down, put it in. But I think the Swindon defender there hits it off Darren and shoots into the net. I think you see it better here.
This angle will be better. Kevin Hollock was a bit unlucky here. He's come in to do some good covering work. Darren Ferguson, you expect him now just to slide it home, but he's done well. It
went off Darren Ferguson's foot there.
Yeah, just, I suppose, a deflection, yeah.
Darren's not really been in the game, has he? And to finish off the half, that should give him a lot of confidence, because he's not been in the Wolves side. But I thought he was very quiet, and yet pops up, but he nearly overran it, as Dave Bassett mentioned.
Watched by his father, Alex Ferguson, of course, tonight. He scored the goal. Wolves are winning by 1-0 at half-time. Swindon, with it all to do, should be a good second half, and it's coming up right after this break. We will see you in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Lying. You know I'd never force you to do anything. Cheating. But I'm gonna have to ask you for one small favor. Stealing. The line most people say they won't cross. It's usually something they've already done when they thought no one was watching. Even murder.
Oh, you are some piece of business.
For Jim Profit, it's just another day at the office.
One to go.
Profit, a new series, Sunday at 9 on Sky 2.
Every week, thousands of people are coming to Direct Line for their mortgages from all over Britain. To find out why, call us now.
Every time you start your car from cold, it takes a while for your engine to get full protection from its oil. Metal grinds against metal. The damage is permanent. Castrol GTX Magnatec works differently. Unique polarized molecules cling like a magnet, dramatically reducing engine wear. Protect from the moment you turn the key with GTX Magnatec, the new oil from Castrol.
This man has a distressing medical condition. His condition is dandruff. His treatment is Nizoral dandruff shampoo, because Nizoral has a patented ingredient that targets and prevents the main cause of dandruff. Nizoral dandruff shampoo, first aid for dandruff.
Investing for the future. In an uncertain world, we all need to do it. But where do we start?
In the Times tomorrow, Savings and Investment. 16 pages of unbiased financial advice. The first of 4 special money guides free in the Times on Saturdays.
Time to change your fortunes.
If you're not registered to vote, you can't have a say. Your council will send you a form.
Big match action this weekend on Sky Sports. Manchester United face Spurs in Ford Super Sunday. King Eric's championship-chasing dream team will be looking to boost their Old Trafford form as they bid for a 4th Premiership title. But Tottenham will be hoping to recapture their earlier winning ways. Then Newcastle take on Aston Villa in Ford Monday Night Football. And a match of breathtaking action is in prospect between 2 of the Premiership's most exciting teams.
Absolutely brilliant.
And that's just part of a great weekend of football live on Sky Sports.
Coming up over on Sky Sports 1 tomorrow evening, live ice hockey action from the quarter-final of the B&H Cup. It's Basingstoke against Bracknell, and it all gets underway at 6:30 on Saturday evening. But on Sky Sports 3, Friday night means live football. Tonight, Swindon against Wolves from the county ground, and the half-time score 1-0 to Wolves. Now, let's take a gauge of what the mood of the Swindon fans is, and clambering amongst them in the stand, George Gavin.
A few long faces amongst the Swindon supporters at half-time. Rush, let's get their views. That was a shock near the end, wasn't it, madam?
Yeah, it definitely was. We've had all the play and they've broke away and scored at the end.
If you were Steve McMahon, what would you be saying now in the dressing room?
Just do the same as what you've been doing already and just hopefully get a couple of goals, yeah.
Do you feel Swindon didn't deserve to go behind there?
No, I didn't. I think they've had all the play. Yeah.
Do you think Mark Seagraves was lucky to stay on the field, though, for that foul?
Don't know. I mean, you can't see from here, so...
Looking forward to a better second half?
Oh, we'll still win, I reckon.
They'll come out fighting. They'll come
Still
out
confident?
3-1 to Swindon.
3-1 to Swindon, all right. Cue the cheerleaders.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? George Gavin with some Swindon fans there. John, they're a goal down, your old club. They've obviously got to score at least 2 to win in the second half. How are they going to do it?
Well, I think, to be honest, they've got to get to even more wide positions, Matt Robinson and Kevin Hurlock, and get a bit nearer to the byline. And because they've had some decent crosses, and Wayne Allison, as Alan said, is very dangerous, and hopefully he'll get that chance.
And Alan, you still going with Wolves?
2-0 Wolves.
Okay.
Said it before the game.
He's not changing his mind. The second half coming up.
He's so far, he's in front.
The second half is coming up for you live now. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Dave Bassett and Rob Hawthorne.
Well, our Wolves about to get their first ever victory at the county ground. Darren Ferguson has put them in control in his first league start of the season, his first goal since he scored a penalty against Barnsley in April. And let's hear from his manager, Mark McGee, with George Gavin.
Mark, fortunate to be ahead, do you think?
Well, I thought we might have had a penalty. It was difficult to see. I think if Ewan hadn't been brought down, I might have fancied Ewan for that position. So maybe it was a little reward for that.
Do you think he should have been sent off, Mark Seagrave?
I need to see it again. I mean, I think they're all safe. The referee thinks he's through and go. I think what happened really, the referee gave advantage on the first pull that he had at him, and actually gave the foul for that, you know, which is obviously the referee's decision. I mean, we'd have been happy when we sent off, to be honest. We'd rather play against 10 than 11.
Neil Emblin off rather?
Neil Emblin's had a blown ahead and suffering from a bit of double vision, and therefore isn't able to go back out.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Thank you.
And with Emblin off, Steve Corica has come on to take his place. You may have seen as the teams were re-emerging for the second half, his Australian compatriot, the Swindon goalkeeper, Frank Talia, had a little word with him. And Corica now with the opportunity to make his mark on the match in a season which hasn't always been the best for him. There's Andy Thompson. And the clearance by Elkins. We can expect Swindon to look to Allison at every opportunity. They're looking for him now with that clearance from Robinson. And as part of the midfield adjustment, Steve Corica now on for Wolves to replace Emblin, who we saw getting treatment for that blow he suffered in the eye in the first half.
I think that's a natural replacement. Corica's been playing there, and he'll probably get forward a little bit more than Emblin in actual fact.
Atkins turning the ball back. This is Wayne Allison. O'Sullivan. Culverhouse. Seagraves might consider himself a little lucky to have reappeared or to have stayed on the field after that first half challenge on Ewan Robertson, tugging him back. Talia had come a long way out to meet Froggatt. Now Wolves might be stretched. Leach using the width provided by Walters. Cohen Allison in the box, so Sullivan going in to join them too. Walters taking on Venus. Seagraves knocking it on. Thompson. And Bull reaching out for it. Corica have joined Bull and Roberts in the attack.
Wolves seem to have come out looking quite purposeful this second half, and a little bit more virile than they were in the first half, and I think the goal may have given them confidence, but at the same time Swindon are going to be taking a few more chances to get back in this game.
Leach. Here's Elkins. Coe feeding it back towards Allison, and it was Atkins with the header back over his own bar.
That was a good diagonal ball by Elkins. Coe got away from Venus, and he's placed it back in the centre of the goal. You can see here Elkins drills it diagonally. Coe plays a good one-touch in, and Atkins has to get that away before it gets to Allison.
Swindon have been well ahead on corners in the match, but yet to make one pay. This one's fed back to O'Sullivan. And it's away from Mark Seagraves. And we can hear about that decision now not to send Seagraves off in the first half. A word on that from our reporter, George Gavin.
Yes, Rob, I spoke to David Allison, the referee, at half-time. He said, in his view, Ewan Roberts wasn't through an obvious goal-scoring situation. He felt he was too wide of the goal. That was his view. And also, he said, on the Steve Bull effort, he disallowed that. He said, in his view again, it was a foul on the goalkeeper.
I think it's very difficult for referees in instances like that, Rob. They have to make an instant decision, and with the hindsight of the video and that, I'm inclined to agree with Alan Brazil. You know, Talia didn't catch the ball, and it's really dropped a ball. But as I say, John Gorman also said that what happens in this day and age, I think when you go near the goalkeepers anywhere in Europe or abroad, it's automatically a free kick. It's one of the aspects that's been taken out of our game. Nat Lofthouse and Andy Gray and Andy Lockhead wouldn't be alive now.
To further make conditions hazardous for the players, rain is now, fine rain, sweeping across the county ground. Venus with the free kick. Ball. Flag up very quickly. I think Mr. Allison had spotted it.
Yes, obviously the linesman must have felt that Steve Buller, one of the Wolves players, had got in. Personally, it doesn't look like it is offside. That's a poor decision by the linesman there.
Leach losing out, and it's Steve Bull with Ferguson breaking to his left. Ferguson having to come back to rescue that one and find Froggatt. Cross towards Bull.
I think sometimes a lot of the offside decisions are very hard, because sometimes when the linesman or the assistant looks up, they are in an offside position at that time, and it is really judging when the ball's played, and sometimes the flags are put up a little bit hasty on occasions.
Mark Robinson, whose career actually started with Wolves' old rivals, West Bromwich Albion. Perhaps it's long enough ago for the Wolves fans to have forgotten that past allegiance. Steve Bull. Leaving it for Smith. Thompson curling it in, and Seagraves with the clearance. Ferguson. Here's Corica. Atkins. Roberts giving away the free kick. Everything about Swindon will have an element of urgency now. It was interesting that Alan Brazil should mention concentration at half-time, because Steve McMahon specifically makes the point in his programme notes this evening about concentration, so very often letting his team down, and he makes the point that the side has got to concentrate for 90 minutes and not 89. It was right in the very last minute of the first half that Darren Ferguson broke through to score that goal. Here's Kevin Horlock for Swindon Town. Wayne O'Sullivan. Allison had stayed onside, but Richards got across to the ball. Here's Horlock. Leach. Swindon trying to maintain some sort of momentum. Walters facing a real battle with Mark Venus. Venus with a little shove has just given away the free kick.
I don't think Wolves want to be giving free kicks in and around the box, because these are dangerous situations, and sometimes it's unnecessary when players are not going in any particular dangerous direction.
5 red shirts in the box if Walters can find one of them. And the Wolves defence, in disciplined fashion, pulled out very quickly to frustrate Walters' intentions.
Well, that tactic was used on the other televised game against Charlton, and it was obvious Wolves were looking to step out then, and Swindon will have to be aware of that.
Ball. Good turn by Coe, well away from Venus. Allison up in support to his left. Atkins slid in with a crucial challenge. Coe, during the course of the game, shown some good control and good skill.
That was excellent skill, and he got his turn on, he left Venus, but then when he attacked Atkins, Atkins kept his cool and made an important interception.
O'Sullivan. They're looking for Allison with a cross, flicked on to Steve Coe. It's too high for him. Knocked away by Venus to Walters. Leach. O'Sullivan. Leach hoping to provide some ammunition. Thompson trying to frustrate Swindon. Scott Leach again. Paula. O'Sullivan pulling away. Well, it's proving a resilient line to break down. Can Walters do it? Forced wide to Horlock. 3 waiting in the box. Elkins kept the move going well to find Coe. Mark Walters closed down very quickly. Horlock coming in and trying to help out, and in fact has proved a hindrance in giving the ball straight to Ewan Roberts. Wolves held firm so well, they congested the edge of the penalty area so that Swindon couldn't pick a way through.
That was excellent defending by Wolves. They were composed, they didn't dive in, they didn't do anything silly like give a free kick away. But there was 1 or 2 opportunities when Swindon had a chance to have a shot. The young boy Coe was in the box and he's laid it out when really he could have had an effort himself.
Well, the ball has found its way through to Corica. He's taken it on too far though, Steve Corica. Little respite for Wolves after their previous endeavours. Really had to dig in hard to keep Swindon out, just as Walters was threatening to dazzle with his skills, and Coe showed 1 or 2 good touches too. And while the height of Allison is a constant threat to the Wolves' defence, it's the ingenuity of Coe that may be relied upon to somehow unlock the door to an equaliser.
I think the weather's helped speed the game up as well with the rain, Rob. It's making the pitch a little bit greasier and the ball's being moved about a bit quicker. And you can see 1 or 2 errors where players possibly may slip.
Be a significant move up the table for Wolves. If they hang on to win, they'll go up 2 places to 3rd. If the score stays as it is, it will represent Swindon's 2nd home defeat this early stage of the season. They were also beaten here by Portsmouth. Their home form was a very successful platform when they won the 2nd Division Championship last year. Leach trying to force it through. Steve McMahon has seen his team to great successes here. In fact, that defeat by Portsmouth, they're only won in their last 18 league fixtures at the county ground. And if they are to have any success this season, they'll need to string together some good results here. Ball through and wide. I think the referee had blown anyway for the push by Bull.
That's right, the referee had given a foul and he blew quickly, and he'd be delighted.
Saves his blushes. There was a moment's hesitancy between Horlock and Elkins before they released it long, and again the offside trap successful for Wolves.
Wasn't quite sure whether the offside was a little bit more luck than judgment in that instance.
Venus. Flick on by Roberts, chance here for Bull. And he had Talia at full stretch, but again, the flag was up and it wouldn't have counted anyway.
Yes, I think the linesman's flagged that Bull was offside in that instance. We see the ball go up and Ewan Roberts gets a touch and the linesman's correct there. Ball had strayed just beyond the defender to the offside.
It's a partnership between Bull and Roberts that's already yielded 9 goals and a hat-trick for each. This is Coe trying to force away past Atkins, and he's in! And right across the face!
Yes, that's a let-off for Wolves there. Coe's got in the box here. The flick on by Allenson. Atkins tries to get it away with his right foot instead, and he's whipped it across the box, and that could have taken the deflection off of Dean Richards and gone in. But for Swindon, unfortunately, they didn't have anybody following in.
Didn't even go for the goal kick, though. It's a throw into Wolves in the corner. Taken to Bull. Played off by Corica to Ferguson. Throw. All the injured party this time in the latest challenge with Mark Seagraves. Roberts a possible target from Ferguson's free kick. They've got a useful knockdown. Bumping and barging with Venus.
Yes, we can see Coe does well. He gets his body in between defenders, and rightly so, the referee's given a free kick.
Horlock now, trying to release O'Sullivan. Allison and Coe in the box. Robinson going in to join them too. Horlock. Header away by Venus.
That was a fine cross by Horlock. There's good play there. He's whipped a nice left-footed cross in there, and really Swindon have got to be looking to get somebody on the end of that.
Yes! Walters. O'Sullivan. And he asked some questions of this Wolves defence. Task is now Robinson's. Leach is turned away from Ferguson well. Culverhouse supporting the attack. And he's done well to win the corner. Buys Swindon some more time to strike while the iron's hot, and they're gradually building up another momentum of pressure. Just look at the corner count. Horlock arriving with a header, and Richards there ahead of Wayne Allison. Culverhouse, who won the corner in the first place. Brilliant ball to Walters. More skills from Walters, looking for Wayne Allison!
Well, that was a similar spot from where Walters created a goal in the Coca-Cola Cup, and Swindon scored on that particular occasion. He's outside, he's going to take on the defender, he's tried his trick, he's worked again, he's clipped a good cross in. Allison's under pressure there from Venus, and his header for him is unfortunately because he's off target. But another good cross by Walters there. Allison's under pressure, and one's got to say it's good defending by Venus that he hasn't allowed him a lot of space to have a free header.
Beguiling skills from Walters. Actually played 11 games on loan at Wolves, including one against Swindon. Venus with this free kick, and Roberts arriving. That's a brilliant save. Fantastic reactions from Talia.
Yes, a very good free kick, well worked. A good left-footed delivery in here. You can see there's good movement by the Wolves players. It comes in there, and Ewan Roberts gets a header. I'm not really sure why the referees allowed that. It didn't look as if there was a foul to me, but...
Well, yeah, Talia's work in some ways rendered academic, because the referee then awarded a free kick. But Talia wasn't to know that and produced some fine reactions to deny Ewan Roberts. Robinson thrashing this one across, and cleared only to Mark Walters. Can he make room for the shot? Blocked, but there's Horlock! A brilliantly driven in equaliser from Kevin Horlock.
We can see the ball's played into the box. There's a heavy clearance, it comes back. Walters goes for his shot, it's blocked again. Jamie Smith comes there, and Horlock strikes it well, and it's through the goalkeeper's leg. A fine strike, hard and low, difficult for the keeper. It's just amazing what can happen. There was the other end where the referee saw an infringement on a free kick, which would have been a corner instead of a goal kick, and it goes down the other end, and Swindon get themselves level.
Well, Kevin Horlock scored in the last league game here at the county ground against Tranmere, and he's on the mark again now. And suddenly Swindon are bubbling again. There was a shout actually for handball against Jamie Smith in the build-up to the goal anyway, when Walter's shot came back off him, but Swindon won't care too much about that now. Horlock providing a fine execution for the finish. Embarrassing style as the ball whipped through his legs. Turned away by Richards, but there's danger here with Leach coming in. Thompson was herring back to block him, and he got too much lift on the eventual shot.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy play there by Richards. He'd gone out. His first touch meant that he took the ball too wide. This is the free kick here, which is well played in. The ball's played in behind, and I really can't see, for the life of me, Ewan Roberts gets in. There's the goal here now. It's hit Jamie Smith. Kevin Horlock comes in and thumps it low and hard, and you know, it's hit the target, and the keeper's not been able to stop it going through his legs, which is difficult for a big goalkeeper.
When skidding along the surface that has been greased somewhat by the rain that's fallen since half-time. Horlock, who's whipped some great crosses in from the left at some pace during the course of the game, provided a scintillating finish to draw Swindon back into the game. Horlock was the second top scorer behind Wayne Allison last season. Is the Wolves' jinx at this ground to continue? 9 times they've been here in the past, Never have they emerged with a win. Mark McGee must have thought, or must have hoped, that with Darren Ferguson's goal, things might be turning around, but with Kevin Horlock equalising, there's suddenly a very different complexion about this match. Sterling revival by Swindon. It was an awful time for them to concede a goal just before the half-time whistle. Concentration was certainly brought back around by Steve McMahon for this second half turnaround. Undoubtedly the manager focused the minds a little bit during the half-time break. Here's Corica. Froggatt has made a good run inside, but it's overhit by Corica. Asking far too much of Froggatt to latch onto that one.
Yes, he's quick, but I don't think he's that quick.
Has happy memories, actually, of a previous visit to the county ground. Scored his first senior goal here as an 18-year-old in an FA Cup tie when he was playing for Aston Villa. Robinson's throw in. Here's ball. Roberts. Ferguson finding ball. Thompson. Ferguson relieved to hear the whistle there because Thompson was fouled.
Bit of frustration there, I think, with Mark Walters just charging into the back and giving a free kick away, which is a bit unnecessary.
They've had some turbulent times in recent years here at Swindon, promoted or relegated in each of the last 4 seasons. They'll be quite happy to consolidate in this division this year while they continue to develop their youth policy that underpins the first team. But survival in the first division, vital to their ultimate long-term ambitions. Coe whips it across, and here's Wayne Allison! How on earth did that one miss the target?
Well, that is a let-off, and that's a miss of enormous proportions. Young Coe does well, he hits a low crossing. It should have been put away by O'Sullivan. It's there with Allison, he's got time, and really, he's got to finish that. He'll be disappointed that he doesn't hit the target there. It should have been a goal, it should have been 2-1 to Swindon and put them in charge of the game.
A striker with his experience should have expected to gobble up a chance like that.
Well, he had time, he was able to get an actual first touch to control the ball, which you often don't get in the penalty area. Perhaps he had a bit too much time, and really that's a bad miss, and you know, that could have put Swindon completely in control there.
Just how crucial will it be when the final whistle goes? Could be the difference between 1 point and 3. That incident alone may well inject some confidence into a Wolves side that's been a bit ragged recently, constantly frustrated by the offside trap, even though Ball this time has found the target.
Yeah, that was a good finish. He was offside, but he finished that well. The crowd want him booked, but I think we're giving the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't wasting that much time. You see he's dropped and he's struck that, that's sweet.
Here's Coe. Oh, challenged by Atkins. Going right through Steve Coe. Get away with just a harsh warning. Coe sees the lighter side. Mike Stoll organising the defence.
These are anxious moments for Wolves, having conceded the goal and could have gone 2-1 down, and you know, they've got to keep their composure, but certainly one can say that Swindon are looking strong, and the extra time the other night doesn't seem to be having any effect at all.
It's Horlock into the side netting. Horlock and Walters, who were both lined up, could have been deadly, and Horlock fancied his chances.
That's right, he comes up and he whips it round the outside of the wall, and here's the side netting, and obviously Walters was the other alternative to possibly go over the wall. They've got good two alternatives there to contend with, and that's a good effort by Horlock.
Quarter of an hour to go. Which team has the hunger and the desire to go for a winner? Well, Allison is furious. He thinks that was nothing more than a straightforward stumble by Mark Venus, with a free kick given to Wolves.
It's unnecessary for forwards to give free kicks away in those instances, but having said that, Allison did seem somewhat aggrieved.
O'Sullivan. Here's Smith.
At this stage, Wolves can't get the hold of the ball and pass it, and they're giving it back to Swindon, which is allowing them to dictate the course of the game. They've got to get hold of the ball and retain possession.
Clearance by Atkins. Robinson. Flung in by Seagraves to Wayne Allison. Just couldn't bring it under control. Kevin Horlock. Richards closing down Steve Coe. Header away by Smith. Atkins a little slow to get across, but Walters couldn't find his range with the intended pass to Allison. This is Ferguson. Thompson. Froggatt. Robinson just got a touch to give away the free kick, and in that little break in play, Wolves are going to make a substitution that they've been contemplating for a little while. This is Dominic Foley, not exactly a first-team regular. This will be only his 6th league appearance, but it's clearly an attacking move by Wolves, because he's an Irish under-21 centre-forward, and they're taking off their right wing-back, Jamie Smith.
Yeah, no, I think they've put Thompson to right full-back, and Dominic Foley a go and make it a front three.
An indication perhaps that Wolves are going for the winner. They're not going to be content to settle for a point. And here's Foley's first touch. Orica. It's Atkins. Oh, it was well driven.
Yes, a fine strike there. He's picked the ball up, he's struck it well, and the goalkeeper's done well. As you can see, he receives it, the ball opens up, the goal opens up, he strikes it, and it gets a little bit of swerve on it. It's a good drive, but one you'd expect the keeper to save.
Goalkeeper just had to change his direction slightly, but he was safely there. Number 4, Leach. Walters. And no room to settle by Ferguson.
Something's obviously been said, and David Allison's just correcting that and not overreacting to the situation.
Darren Ferguson, the Wolves goal scorer. His father not only here to watch him tonight, but also Manchester United's future Coca-Cola Cup opponents. Swindon Town, and it's Walters for them, trying to get it in. And I wonder what he's made of the team that will go to Old Trafford in the third round of the competition. Perhaps overcome with paternal delight at the fact that Darren Ferguson has scored in his first league start of the season. Froggatt. Richards. Bull. This is Corica. A testing one for the Swindon defence, and it took the header away from Culverhouse.
Yeah, this is Wolves' first corner of the game, and they'll be hoping for a repeat of one of those corners that they scored against West Bromwich Albion with.
Maybe Swindon won't make life as easy for them.
On that occasion, the delivery wasn't up to the standard.
Corica trying to drive a way through. Good try! Talia had to reach up just underneath his crossbar.
That was good play by Corica. He was very positive. He took the ball into the box. One or two of the Wolves players complained about a penalty. Young Coe had hold of his shirt cuffs, but that's a good save by Talia to get that away. But it's also a fine effort by Corica under pressure there.
Heavy traffic ahead of Talia.
Yeah, they've got a different corner this time. They've decided to load up the 6-yard box.
Massed ranks are all in there. Richards climbing. Knocked back by Foley. Thompson releasing it quickly. And Ferguson providing with a cross. Allison's clearance. Leach, though, with a header away that only lands at the feet of Atkins. Atkins, though, dithered, and O'Sullivan dispossessed him. This is Leach. Swindon pulling forward in numbers. Wolves now have had time to drift back. But can Walters here turn on a little bit of magic? Walters going through, good challenge by Dean Richards, a vital one, and in a way it saved Mark Atkins' blushes after the hesitancy that set up that attack.
I wasn't sure if Walters was trying to go for a penalty there.
Held in by Ferguson towards Roberts, and that was an important touch by the goalkeeper.
Yes, that was a good ball whipped in by Ferguson there. When it's played back to him, he gets plenty of whip on it, and Ewan Roberts has come in the back post, and had the keeper not got that vital touch, I would have fancied Ewan would have planted that in the net.
Roberts and Ball and Foley all across the edge of the 6-yard box. As Thompson hurls it across. Walters looking to set up Coe. Quick thinking striker, Steve Coe. Knocked on by Roberts. Can Ball find the gap? Talia coming right out. Roberts and Ball rather going down on the edge of the penalty area. The goalkeeper has hobbled away from the challenge. And Ball was looking longingly for a penalty award. Well, the goalkeeper's not comfortable. He couldn't afford to take a back pass on board now. And it's surprising from that point of view that Wolves aren't exerting a little more pressure. Robinson. Walters with a cross, Allison screening it from Richards. And I think there may have been a case for an advantage, but the referee's blown for the free kick, and Talia is happy that things haven't happened too quickly after that last challenge with Ball.
Yeah, we see the challenge go here, and Talia and Ball does catch him, and the referee's done well. He's got a knock on the knee. Steve Ball, in fairness, has tried to get out of the way, and they've ended up falling on one another.
Well, they don't have a reserve goalkeeper on the bench, so Talia will struggle on. Just under 6 minutes in which to hold out. Wolves showing determination here for a late onslaught. Corica, well, it rapidly broke down. Corica could now redeem himself. Good run had been made by Foley, pulls it back for Ball. Seagraves met him well. This is Atkins. Foley had come back too far, and Walters tangling with Froggatt.
It's interesting, in the last 5 minutes or so, Mark Atkins has gone into midfield and Wolves are playing with a back four now. And obviously they've decided to take a bit more initiative on the attacking front.
And it beats Horlock. Foley! What a dream for the substitute!
Yes, we see the free kick come in. It's missed and dropped to young Foley there, who strikes it away magnificently there. Bad defending on the free kick. It's not the greatest free kick. Horlock slings himself at it. Robinson tries to win it, and it falls nicely for Foley there, who's able to get his touch, really, and he shouldn't have been allowed to do that, and he smashes it into the corner.
An appearance, or rather a goal that belies his appearance record. It's his 6th in the league for Wolves. It was a magnificent finish, and it could be enough to break the Wolves hoodoo at the county ground.
Well, obviously Swindon are going to make a couple of substitutions now. Robinson and O'Sullivan are going off.
And it's Finney and Watson who are coming on to take their place. In fact, it's Peter Thorne coming on. Peter Thorne, who, having come on as a substitute, scored in the match at Loftus Road against Queen's Park Rangers. But it's a man who's come on for Wolves as a substitute, who at the moment is threatening to be the story of the night. Whipped in Thorne! Oh, save!
Well, we nearly had an immediate reply there. A good cross comes in here, and Thorne pulls away from Richards, and one would have fancied him to finish there. Fortunately for Wolves, it's gone straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
Well, Foley is the substitute who's got the goal. Thorne is the one who almost got the goal. Well, don't forget that more exciting nationwide league action coming up on Sunday as we go back to the Potteries. It's Port Vale against Bradford, and our coverage starts on Sky Sports 3 at 12 noon. It's another dramatic finish here at the county ground. Dominic Foley, the young Irish under-21 international forward, scores after coming on as a substitute, but Swindon aren't giving it up yet. The substitutions that they've made have brought a whole new freshness to their approach. Here's Horlock. And Horlock released by Walters. Thompson holds him off, but it's a corner. And just how expensive could conceding a corner be at this late stage of the game? Swindon have dominated in terms of corners. Finney wanted it taken quickly. Walters, though, plays it long towards Allison. And it was Dominic Foley, the man of the moment, who got the touch to clear it. Leach. A free header for Elkins, and he couldn't find the target, and Wolves are furious about the marking there. Mike Stowell has gone absolutely mad.
Well, Swindon have had two great opportunities to get back in this game. Here we see the free kick driven in left-footed. There's Elkins and Thorne both lining up, and there's a header that's put wide. Swindon have only themselves to blame. They've had, 3-4 good opportunities. Wayne Allison, Thorne and Elkins there to score goals unopposed.
Thorne just behind Elkins was itching to get there. But Elkins took it on board, and in hindsight may reflect it was the wrong decision. Here's Allison. Atkins playing it forward to Foley, and the challenge coming in from behind gives the free kick to Wolves. And with half a minute of the match to go, the man of the match is a Wolves defender, and it's Mark Atkins, who continued in his role at the back to good effect tonight, and he's the Nationwide League man of the match. Free kick taken by Ferguson, headed away by Seagraves. Allison. Elkins playing it forward, but Finney couldn't reach it. I don't think Tom Finney in his heyday would have reached that, would he? Thompson hurls the throw in forward.
This is just what Wolves will want, to just take the sting out of the game and run the game down. But Steve McMahon will be sort of disappointed, even though they went 2-1 down. They've had two marvellous opportunities to get back in and make it a draw.
And Wolves have made a piece of history here by finally winning at the county ground. And Dominic Foley, the young substitute, is the man who has secured the win. A dramatic introduction for him, adding to the goal that Darren Ferguson got in the first half, and rendering Kevin Horlock's equaliser for Swindon meaningless in the end. Swindon tried to battle back bravely, but management is all about selection, and it's unusual selections in a way that have got the goals that have brought so much joy for Wolves tonight. Darren Ferguson, his first league start of the season, and Dominic Foley, hardly a regular name even for Wolves followers, let alone a wider audience. But Mark McGee's faith in both players well and truly vindicated this evening. An absolutely crucial away win to take them up to third place in the table, and Foley can justifiably be beaming with delight. It was a difficult match for Wolves. They had to dig in really hard. They had to show great defensive mettle as Swindon piled forward in the second half, but Swindon looked some gift horses in the mouth. Wayne Allison missed a sitter, Gary Elkins missed with a free header, and Wolves it is who banked the points to continue their successful run in away games this season. The travelling Wolves supporters saw their team win at Grimsby on the opening day. They picked up a point at Oxford, they picked up a victory at West Brom, and now they've finally broken the county ground jinx. So they'll be singing all the way back up the M5 to the Black Country tonight. So they'll be going back in a great mood. Swindon less so. But it's Wolves' night as they move up the table significantly. The final scorer here at the county ground, Swindon 1, Wolves 2.
Yes, a really great second half. Great result for Wolves. Keeps them up near the top of the table. We'll see where they are in the not-too-distant future. Coming up after the break, we'll find out what John and Alan have to say about it all with our full-time analysis.
We have got to get these people into isolation immediately.
A mysterious illness.
You people don't have any idea what this is, do you?
Sends a city into panic.
Whatever it is, it's deadly.
Robin Cook's Formula for Death, 10 o'clock tonight on Sky Movies.
Shampoo specially designed for men. Brill cream was good enough for his granddad. And Jack's just as sensible. for hair and scalp. With protein. That should keep him fit. And with the healthy-looking mop of hair, he might even start courting.
New Brill Cream Shampoo, made for men. Every day, over 5 million people do exactly the same thing. Save for the future with Nationwide.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last.
In tune with people. Nationwide.
What do you mean you don't understand this? You've just drunk out of my drink.
Hardly fair, is it? But then if you don't have an up-to-date TV licence, that's not fair either.
It's only a chip, you can spare. Oh, I just had the chip.
You're walking in and eating my food.
It means you're watching while others are paying.
Now, listen, I'm just about as up you, son.
TV licence evasion. It's not fair, it's not right, and it's against the law.
Investing for the future. In an uncertain world, we all need to do it. But where do we start?
In the Times tomorrow, savings and investment. 16 pages of unbiased financial advice. The first of 4 special money guides free in the Times on Saturdays.
Time to change your fortunes.
I had to go to the chemist, I've been ill. And I had to give the bank took my check out of the way. All right then, how much?
Thousands and thousands.
National Lottery Instance.
Rich! Park anywhere you like.
Forget it all for an instance.
You're not fast enough for me!
Today I am.
Now there's a brand new toilet tissue that makes someone seem almost redundant. It has 17% more soft, smooth tissue packed into every single sheet for a rich, silky softness. You'll really feel the difference. Softer, stronger, but just as long. And the best news of all is, it's Andrex. New Feel Andrex. You'll know it as soon as you touch it. It's the best Andrex ever.
From Land's End to John O'Groats and back again. People who cook for a living are the pickiest people on earth. That's why they cook with Uncle Ben's long grain rice. Uncle Ben's uses only the finest grains. It's fluffy, great tasting, and perfect every time. No wonder more restaurants serve Uncle Ben's than any other rice, meal after meal. Uncle Ben's, perfect every time.
Sunday, it's festival season in an all-new Simpsons, man.
So get ready for some well-supervised craziness.
Nice shoes you're talking. Like, wow, Homer's reliving his youth.
I think you're cool, Homer Simpson. That was me.
And, like, he's scored a new gig.
Hi, everybody.
If you take one more cannonball to the gut, you will die.
Dying would be a stone through.
A brand new Simpsons, Sunday at 6 on Sky One. Far out.
Coming up over on Sky Sports 2 at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, our Spanish football this week sees surprise leaders Real Betis take on John Toshek's Deportivo. That starts at 7 over on Sky Sports 2 tomorrow evening. Here on Sky Sports 3, our live football has seen Swindon lose to Wolves for the first time at the county ground by 2-1. 28 attempts on goal. But look at the corner kick. A lot of fouls, 25 in all. Just the one booking. of Seagraves, of course. We looked at with the boys at half-time. They thought it should have been a sending off in the action areas for the first half and for the second half. Pretty even. 8,500 the crowd tonight, and let's get some reaction now from the Wolves camp. Darren Ferguson and Mark McGee are with George Gavin.
Mark, was that a fortunate 3 points for Wolves?
I don't think so. I think really we could have been 2-0 up with the one at the back post there, which was given offside. We thought we should at least had a corner from that. They went up the park and scored the equaliser. We've changed our formation to stop them getting at us so well, and it's worked for us. We've then ended up starting to get a bit more of the play. We've ended up getting a second goal from that, so we feel quite justified in taking the 3 points.
Takes you to third in the table, and yet you've still to play at your best, probably.
Yeah, we've still to play our best consistently. We've certainly not played at our best, not by a long shot tonight. We've had to readjust today to certain things. We've had to change it for the first time in a while. And to be fair, you know, it's worked out for us.
I hear Dominic Foley's a bit shy of the cameras, but it was an inspired substitution, as they say, for the manager, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was a bonus that Dominic went on and scored the goal. We really put Dominic on because we felt that their back players were able to get at us too easily with only the two up front. So we put an extra man up front for a defensive reason as much as anything. The bonus was that Dominic got the winning goal, and it's great for him. He's deserved his chance on the bench. That's why he's there. He's played well in training. He's done well in the reserve games, and good luck to him.
And Darren got the first goal. Bit of history, Darren, because Wolves have never won here. Was that deserved, do you think?
Yeah, I thought we battled through well, you know. We were under pressure at times, but you're going to be away from home. And I thought we did well to get the 3 points.
Your father's watching tonight. Family affair?
Yeah, well, he came down. He's got Swindon in the Cup, so I think he was going to have a look at them as well, you know. So he'll be pleased, yeah.
How pleased for you, because this is only the second start of the season. The last one was here in the Coca-Cola defeat, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first game I played in the season, we got beat 2-0 down here, so it's pleasing to come and get a win and also to score a goal, yeah.
When you look at the table and you see third place, and as the manager says, yet to play consistently well, is there a lot more to come out of Wolves?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's shaping up quite well at the moment. We're third in the league, like you say, but I think there's more to come, yeah.
Well done for the goal, tremendous run through, but do you feel that you took it a bit too far in the end?
Oh, I thought the keeper was going to commit himself, actually. I'm just looking at it now. So I was going to take it to the side, oh. Here it goes. Yeah, I thought he was going to commit himself here. And then it's just going off my right foot, actually.
Did it touch the defender first?
I think he knocked onto my right foot, yeah, but it's definitely my goal.
Tremendous goal. We're giving it to you, don't worry about it. Well done, guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Darren Ferguson and Mark McGee, happy with the night's work. Wolves 2-1 winners, just confirmation for you there. Wolverhampton Wanderers now third in the table. Swindon still 12th, yet to find their real position. And a look at the bottom of Division 1. Some big names in the bottom half, as we were saying earlier in the show. Oldham still rooted firmly at the bottom with just 2 points, just above them Grimsby and Bradford. So, Alan, you were saying 2-0 to Wolves. You were slightly out, I'm afraid. I just wanted to point that out. It was 2-1 in the end.
I certainly thought Wolves would win it, but they disappointed me, to be honest. I thought they were very poor in midfield. They give Swindon too much sort of credit. They let them have the ball come at them. There was no closing down. There was no bite. When you're 1-0 up away from home, you have to work hard and stop them getting balls into the box and crosses into the box. And I didn't think Wolves done that, and I thought Swindon deserved to be on level. I do think they were a little bit unlucky, because I felt it was a corner too when the ball came to the back post and Roberts headed. Good save from the keeper, and suddenly, free kick, and from that, Swindon were back level. But then Wolves did play a little bit better.
Yep. Well, it could so easily.
No way, you know, it's a good save from the keeper. Roberts should have scored, but I can't see what the referee's given here, because you can see clearly it's not offside. Now let's see Bull, what's he doing? Nothing. Roberts to the back post. That's a corner.
Yeah, it's a funny decision.
Frank Talia had a great second half, didn't he? A good game, John.
Funny thing is, Frank Talia made some lovely saves and looked very good in goal, but it was, although I've got great respect for Mark McGee and Colin Lee, I felt tonight that Swindon shaded it, although the result tells us the story. But I think, in all honesty, a draw would have been a fair result on the play. You know, I think on the play.
Swindon went in a goal down, obviously, at half-time, and shortly after the incident we've just seen, Kevin Horlock, one of the guys we looked at before kick-off, scored a good goal, didn't he, John?
Yeah, I was saying before, and then I said to Alan, I fancy the lad, but he's been playing a lot in midfield this season and last season, but he's good in the areas. He's got a great left foot, and he struck that so well along the ground, through the keeper's legs, because it was so much pace on the ball. Terrific finish, wasn't it, Alan?
Definitely. I think keeping it low was that's what made the goal, because the keeper suddenly flashes past his own defender, and it's so low he can't react with the hands. It's in the back of the net.
Swindon then had a great chance to win the game. Wayne Allison.
What a substitute. Yeah,
Well, this is
it's a real deep, well,
You
low
couldn't mind
cross.
us, could you?
No, it's, you know, the old swing the left foot. I was thinking that was the two subs there, but good, you know, he pulls it back. The Wolves defender diving in there, and now good touch. Just gets a little touch in this now, and he's thinking, oh no, I'm on my left peg. Just hit the target, and he very nearly does, to be honest, to be fair to him. He tries to tuck it just inside the post.
They probably would have gone on and maybe got another one if that would have gone in.
At that
It's
time,
so cruel, isn't it?
At that time, I think that probably Wolves would have settled for a draw, you know. Swindon were on top, but credit to Wolves, they did come back well. In the last 12-15 minutes, they really did have a go again and got the goal, a terrific goal by the young Foley.
Yeah, well, Dominic Foley might be camera shy, but he's not goal shy. What a story. Came on as substitute.
That's a great finish, isn't
Wonderful.
it? You know, what I liked about it most was he took it so quick. You know, it's whipped across. You've got to defend this better, but you can't say that the kid. He takes it so quick, and before the goalkeeper reacts, it's in the back of the net. But look at the Swindon defending again. You know, just standing ball watching. But look at this, one touch, bang.
Wonderful technique. That was a winning goal. 2-1 to Wolves, the final score. Let's get a word now from Steve McMahon, the Swindon manager. He's talking to George Gavin.
Steve, a late goal against you in both halves. Was concentration at fault there?
Not really. I thought they've had a lucky break both times. He's never fell over it, the lad, when he scored the first one, and he's got through. And then we've never got back on the line. But that was a body blow, obviously, before half time. And then the second one, it was an awful free kick in. Kevin Horlock's missed it. It's bounced off for the lad, and he's got a free shot. But
you feel they're fortunate then tonight?
Well, they've robbed us, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, it sounds sour grapes, but believe me, you've seen it. Even when we've gone 2-1 down, we could have made it 3-2. Peter Thorne's had a great chance, and Gary Elkins has had a great chance as well. So I was proud of the lads tonight, I really was. You know, I thought they played magnificently well, and we didn't get what we deserved. But again, that's football, and they'll be delighted because they've come and mugged us, I think, anyway.
There's no indication there really of thinking about Manchester United, is there, in the next round of the Coca-Cola Cup? That wasn't on their minds?
That's finished. We've nothing we can do about Manchester United now. We've got league games to think about. We've got plenty of league games in front of us. Man United's a long way away. But if we play with that spirit and that commitment and the way we played, I'll be delighted. I really will. We'll win 9 times out of 10 if we play that way.
Steve, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, thanks.
Losing manager Steve McMahon there of Swindon Town. Winners tonight, Wolverhampton Wanderers by 2-1. I hope you enjoyed our Friday night football. We certainly did. But let's turn our attentions now to the England situation as John Gorham is with us. John, are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, loving it.
Good.
Really enjoying it. It's a great job, obviously, but you know, the most important thing is winning matches, and we've only had one game so far, and in a minute we've got 3 points, so we're delighted with that.
Exactly. Now, of course, the next big game is at Wembley. Looks as though it's going to be a sellout against Poland on the 9th of October, a game that you can see live on Sky Sports. And the squad was announced yesterday, and all the talk, of course, was about Paul Merson being back in the England squad.
Yeah, Paul deservedly is back in the England squad. He's had a great start to the season. All his worries look like behind him. He looks so fit and eager, and we've watched him many times now, and it's early in the season, but he's a man in form, and that's why he's been drafted into the squad.
Dominic Matteo was born in Dumfries, so technically,
Yeah.
of course, he could have played for Scotland, but he's an England boy
Interesting
now.
one, that, isn't it?
And you and Glenn, I know you rate him very highly. Glenn called him yesterday at the press conference the best footballing centre-back in England.
No, he's the type of player that we like, and we like to see players at the back that are comfortable on the ball, and he certainly is that. And he threads balls through the eye of needle to the midfielders, and that's what we want, really. People with quality at the back that starts the moves off, and Dominic fits that role, and we're delighted to bring him in because, again, he's a man in form.
He's in the squad, but has he got a chance of making the team?
It's early days, because as we found out the last time, there's no good picking the team for definite just now, because there will be, hopefully not, but there likely to be some injuries and call-offs, and that's the one disappointing thing, is you've got a great squad there, as you know, in front of you, but it might not be the squad that we've got in another 6 or 7 days' time.
When we were talking earlier, you said that Terry Venables, before Euro 96, had a lot of friendlies that he played. You and Glenn have just had to go straight into World Cup qualifiers, and you got off to a great start in Moldova. Do you think that 3 goals was good enough, considering the performance?
At the end of the game, we were, in all honesty, the funny thing was we were delighted with the win and getting the first win, and that goal in particular, because it got us the nerves out of the system. But we did think at the end that we wish we went on and made it 5, you know, just to make it even more convincing. But in saying that, if you'd settled before the game, the conditions of the pitch, the travel, and it was a tricky game. And I think, in all honesty, we've come through it quite well.
Great to get a win under your belt. Alan Shearer scoring the third goal.
Gets his third goal, first game as captain, so it was good.
All right, well, we're looking forward to Poland. They are next up for John Gorman and Glenn Hoddle. Poland, a week on Wednesday. The last time the two sides met at Wembley in a World Cup qualifying match was 3 years ago, and this is what happened.
And it's Ferdinand, and it's a goal for England. 5 minutes gone. Les Ferdinand. Ferdinand with another terrific lead. Gascoigne will benefit from this, and England lead by 2. Poland have pulled everyone back. They do set it up for Pearce. Stuart Pearce with a humdinger of a goal.
Yes, international football. England against Poland from Wembley. If you can't get to the game, it's going to be a sellout. You can watch it on Sky Sports 1. Wednesday, October the 9th, 7 o'clock, and we all wouldn't mind a repeat of that result, would we? 3-0 to England. Obviously, John, you're going for the points in that game, which are absolutely vital, but you'll be looking for a good team performance as well, won't you?
Yeah, but in saying that, the points are the most important thing. We want a great performance. There'll be a sellout crowd, like you've said. The atmosphere will be electric like it was in European Championships, and we just hope it'll be something similar, and that same score that'll be good enough for us.
It should be. It's going to be a packed house, and very best of luck with it.
Thank
you. Squad of players. Now, what about Scotland, Alan? Because I know it hurts you to sit there watching.
I'm still confused. An accent like that, we're talking Wembley and full. And,
I don't use that.
No, I'm absolutely delighted for him and for Glenn, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, Scotland have got 2 games in 5 days. You've got Latvia, and then 5 days later, obviously, you've got Estonia. It seems a bit unfair to me that playing 2 games so quickly.
It's just the way it's come out, and, you know, Craig Brown, I think he's done a marvellous job, Craig, and you just have to get on with it. You know, you hopefully in the first game you pick up a decent result, not too many injuries, and then you get on with the second game. But I think Scotland are going to do OK over there, and out of the group, disappointed with Austria. I think Scotland and Sweden could go through.
Duncan Ferguson got an injury. Scotland have got a few problems scoring goals, and I saw Craig Brown yesterday speaking on Sky Sports saying that he wants 6 points out of those 2 games.
Well, I think a win and a draw would be great, but why not? You know, go over there confident. Scotland are in a confident mood, and I thought the display in Austria was encouraging. It's a shame Ferguson's missing, because I like him, and I think it's just what Scotland need, a big target man, especially away from home. You want someone that can hold the ball up and cause them an aerial threat away from home on your travels, and it's just a shame.
What do they need from these 2 matches? You say a win and a draw, but they really do need 6 points. Come on.
No, I think a win and a draw will be good. They'll beat Austria at Hampden. They'll get a draw with Sweden, maybe home and away, and that'll be enough.
All right, thanks, Alan, for coming in again. We're going to see you soon. Thank you, John. Good luck to England.
Thank you.
We'll be rooting for you on the 9th of October. Before all that international action, plenty more domestic live football for you. Our next match here on Sky Sports 3 is on Sunday. We're on the air at 12 noon. Port Vale against Bradford. Brian Horton will be in the studio with me, Lenny Lawrence, and his first live television appearance since leaving Queen's Park Rangers, Ray Wilkins, will be in the studio as well. And, of course, don't forget on Sky Sports 3, Thursday at 7:30, our Football League review, goals, gossip, news, and 1 or 2 interesting features as well. So we'll see you for that 7:30, Sky Sports 3 on Thursday night. But tonight we've been at the County Ground. The jinx has been broken. Wolves have won by 2-1. Dominic Foley came on as a second-half substitute. Didn't want to talk to the cameras, but he scored the winning goal. The jinx is broken, and Wolverhampton Wanderers are now 3rd in the First Division. From all of us, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Over on Sky Sports 2 next, WWF Raw.
On Sky Sports 1, there's extended live coverage of the Scottish Masters Snooker, featuring Stephen Hendry versus Alan McManus. While next here on Sky Sports 3, US PGA Golf, Day 2 of the Buick Challenge.
Nothing much to do. There's no time for leaving. I gotta keep believing. Your smile doesn't matter. It's all gone away. There's no time for leaving. I gotta keep believing. Your smile doesn't matter. It's all gone away. It's all gone away. Keep it gone away. It's gone away now. It's all gone away. Keep it gone away.
There's a great lineup of football.